right, happy Monday, guys. Broadcasting live from 88.1 FM and iHeartRadio, live from Romeoville. You're listening to our weekly NBA segment, The Stepback. I'm your host, KC. I got Pat here with me. What's up, Pat?
How's it going, guys?
All right, so here's the deal, guys. We actually already recorded this, and
yeah, we already did our first half of the show. Some technical difficulties,
but I didn't click record,
yeah.
so we're gonna go over it. So if we just gloss over some topics, you could just assume that it's because we already talked about it for 25 minutes.
Right, yeah.
But I just am an idiot, so.
No, So, pretty much the main thing of our last segment was we talked a lot about the Derrick Rose, the 50-point.
Yeah. You want to get back into it? We could just gloss over it real quick.
Yeah.
Right.
So we were saying how Derrick Rose is, 22 years old, right? He won the MVP.
Youngest ever. It was his third season in the league.
8 years ago, his third year in the league, he won the MVP, which is unbelievable. It's going to be a long time before that happens again. I think. Maybe not. I don't know.
Probably.
But needless to say, that was incredible.
Giannis could win it this year. He's like 23 or something.
Yeah, right. But
it's his fifth year in the league, sixth year in the league.
Exactly. So, but our point was Derrick Rose comes in, drops 50 points at home against the Utah Jazz, who cut him after the Cavs
9
trade.
months prior to the day.
Right. And I think it's amazing to think about because of he tore his Achilles and his ACL, which DeMarcus Cousins tore his Achilles, and people are saying he, is never going to be the Boogie of old again. And like I just said, D-Rose tore his Achilles, which is like a death sentence for basketball players, on top of tearing his ACL, which is also a death sentence for NBA players.
And his game was predicated on explosiveness and athletic ability.
And we were all saying that if Rose were to stay healthy, maybe we could see 17, 18 a game if he started, got a lot of minutes in the right system.
See, I think that's what it's all about is opportunity. That's what he's been saying for the last 2 years, too. It's like he was saying that, when I was the MVP in Chicago, I was the guy. Right. I had the ball all the time. I made every decision. I got to shoot as many times as I want. I got 35-plus minutes a game. Yeah. And he goes, I can still play.
Right.
It's just that I don't get those starting minutes. I don't get the starting opportunity.
And
so Jeff Teague was out, and Thibodeau said to D-Rose, just go play your game. He said, all right, cool.
Right.
And he went out. And
this is not going to be a trend. That's not what this was.
The very next game, he twisted his ankle, and he played 3 minutes.
This was just a reminder.
Yes, it was a reminder.
It was a reminder to all of the D-Rose fans out there, all the ones that missed the old Derrick Rose, got a little taste of what it was like to be back in 22-year-old watching Derrick Rose, and that was the greatest part about all of this, and it was just kind of a tease, is what we were saying. We were saying it's pretty much just a tease.
But here, let me say something. Let me add something real quick. 2 years ago in New York, he averaged 18 points a game on 48% shooting.
Fantastic year, which people thought he was done
in 20 minutes, and he did that as the point guard in the triangle offense. And if you know anything about the triangle offense, you know that it's not built to feature the point guard to produce points. So for Derrick Rose to drop 18 points a game in New York in 20-something minutes on 48% shooting, that's over a whole season. That's not a small sample size. That is a bit of a reminder. And then he comes to Cleveland. His game doesn't mesh well with LeBron's. That was never going to work. They sent him out to Utah. Utah didn't even take a look at him. They didn't even give him a jersey. They were just like, no, we don't want you. So he gets cut, and we were saying it was a transcendent moment. It transcended sports. It was so powerful. His teammates mobbed him, and then the announcer said as soon as he collects himself emotionally, we'll get an interview from him. And he took a minute to collect himself. He stood there at midcourt. The crowd gave him a standing ovation. He was standing there with a towel over his head, crying his eyes out, and he raised his arms in triumph like Rocky, and he just screamed. It was like one of the most powerful moments. And they haven't showed that part on many of the highlights, so I haven't really seen it, but the way it actually played out was even better than the way that it played out like in the highlights.
No, I agree.
Yeah, it was incredible.
And like you said, it's just kind of like it was a moment bigger than basketball. It was more than just scoring 50 points, which is already, very, very difficult. But, for him to do that after everything he's gone through and just the shock waves it sent around the NBA, even, like we said, LeBron is like the face of sports, and LeBron stopped his post-game interview to congratulate Rose and to
called him a superhero.
Yeah, called him
and
a
almost
superhero
cried.
and almost cried.
He was like, "Get the hell away from my locker,"
because it was so chilling and just it was a great basketball moment.
Yeah,
and
it was a great moment, human moment.
Exactly.
It was overcoming adversity, and my favorite part was at the post game press conference. He said, like, guys, when no one else believes in you, when everyone else has written you off, that's when you have to have the most belief in yourself. And it's like, that's a cliche and a saying and everything, so it's all good and fine and dandy. But, like, when you think about it, that's literally what happened to this guy. Everyone wrote him off. All the experts, all the analysts, saying he can't do it anymore. He's nothing. Even Chicago fans will talk trash about him and drag his name through the mud. Oh, he just sat on the bench and collected a paycheck for so long. And then he goes and plays for the Knicks and scores 18 a game. Why couldn't he do that for us? It's like, man, for this guy it was just a moment of human triumph. And it was just, it was awesome.
Right. I agree. It was just.
So real quick, let's go over the Bucks again because they dropped 144 yesterday.
Yeah, and actually, stat about that game. The Milwaukee Bucks scored 144 points. That's their most points in a game since 1989.
It's Budenholzer, dude, and it's so they have a new coach, new system, and Giannis went 8 for 11 from the floor, 26 points, 15 boards, and 11 assists. Man, you can't get more like efficient and more productive than that.
Speaking of efficiency,
he's averaging 26, 14, and 6. He just gets every rebound in the gym. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Speaking of efficiency, okay, I have a stat that's gonna blow your mind.
All right, let's hear it.
It's a little off topic from the Bucks.
Where are we going?
Boban.
Oh yeah,
the 7'7",
the Rain Man,
right?
The Rain Man
has the highest player efficiency rating in NBA history.
Right now?
Yeah.
Really? Higher than
28.0. LeBron's is 27.7.
Isn't Michael Jordan's
27.9?
Oh, what's LeBron's?
27.7. Jordan's is 27.9.
PER
Boban's is 28.
So PER takes into account
how efficient a player is while he's on the floor.
Right. It also takes into account
his overall statistical performance, pretty much.
And it takes into account usage rate, which is that's why PER is such an accurate thing, because it's like if someone's usage rate is low, if you only touch the ball 5 times a game and you play 3 minutes and you finish with 12 points, your PER is going to be through the roof. If you play 48 minutes and finish with 12 points, your PER is not
garbage.
Yeah, exactly. So it that's why it's an accurate or a fairly accurate assessment, because
but
it
that's
takes
crazy.
Into,
that's a crazy
insane.
Stat.
Yeah, it's
Boban
insane.
is the highest PER in NBA history. Not Kareem, not Bill Russell, not Michael Jordan, not Steve Kerr, not Steph Curry, not KD.
He's just raining threes.
28. Boban from the Clippers, 7'6", the big man.
Oh! I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about the dude on the Pacers.
No.
Boban, did you see the other day where he dunked that ball, landed on his feet, and was still holding the rim?
Yeah.
He literally looks like Andre the Giant. He looks like he has giantism.
That is the craziest stat I've ever seen, like, probably ever. Boban? Out of everybody and who's ever played in the NBA ever,
that is pretty crazy.
It's Boban.
That is pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. But back to the Bucks. Sorry.
That was pretty much it. They're 8-1. They Giannis is just collapsing every single defense he faces, which is getting Chris Middleton and Brook Lopez and everyone, all these open. They're taking warm-up jump shots from 3. They're one of the top 3-point teams in the league, not because they have unbelievable snipers, but because they're literally Giannis is generating wide-open standstill threes, because you can't, as a defensive coach, you can't not collapse on Giannis. He'll score 60.
Right.
He's just a man amongst boys. He gets 18. He'll finish with 27 points and 18 rebounds.
Right.
He's just an absolute animal,
I agree.
dude.
I agree.
I think the MVP right now, if the season was over right now, MVP's between him and Steph.
Yeah.
But I would go him just because the definition of MVP is most valuable to your team. And I think that you take Steph off goal, even though he's leading the league in scoring and he's shooting 50-something% from 3, which is absurd. I still think if you take Steph off Golden State, they're fine. Whereas if you take Giannis off Milwaukee, they would be trash. He's just incredible.
So I want to get into, because we were talking last week a little bit about the Rockets.
Okay.
What is going on with Houston and the whole Melo effect? But
he had a couple good games.
Yeah, that's what I kind of want to get into real quick.
Yeah, let's get it.
So on November 2nd, The Rockets traveled to Brooklyn. They beat them 119 to 111. Melo comes in, drops 28 points in 31 minutes, 9 of 12 from the field, 4 of 6 from the line, and 6 of 9 from 3.
Wow.
Yeah.
But see, I think it's sort of like like your point about the Derrick Rose thing. Like, you ain't getting this all the time.
Well, then he goes and plays the Bulls.
He ain't gonna average
everyone is going crazy.
Okay, but also James Harden was out.
Right.
So you're talking about the person with the second highest usage rate in the league missing from your team. So, of course, there's a vacuum of scoring to be filled. You know?
Then Melo goes to Chicago and plays the Bulls. He comes in with a healthy James Harden, 17 points, 7 rebounds, 8 of 14 from the field, 1 of 7 from 3. The 1 of 7 from 3 can be avoided, but I have a stat for you.
I'll take the 17 points on over 50% shooting.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
8 of 14, absolutely.
Yep, any day, hell yeah.
Okay.
7 boards.
Before Carmelo signed with the Rockets, listen to this stat. The Houston Rockets over the past 2 seasons have taken 459 mid-range jump shots.
Does that include this year?
No.
So last year and the year before.
They've taken 459 mid-range jump shots, okay?
Because, as you know, Daryl Morey doesn't believe in it. He believes he's like a statistical guy, and he's like, well, if we shoot 40% from 3, that'll beat your 52% from 2.
Right. They call it Morey ball.
Right. So right as Melo first got there, he would try to shoot the 3, but didn't like it, so he'd take like one dribble and one step inside, shoot the long 2, and then he'd go apologize.
Yeah, right. But 459 mid-range jump shots
over the last 2 years. Okay.
Carmelo,
483. Over the last 2 years?
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds about right.
That's absurd. 483 mid-range jump shots over the past 2 years.
It's 164 games. I could see that. No problem. Yeah,
480 mid-range jump shots over 2 years.
Most of the time that Melo has the ball, it's like ISO in the post, back you down, put his you-know-what into you, try to get some moves on the block, or he'll do like his little baseline jump shot. Yeah, he loves that mid-range. But yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah. It's the polar opposite of the style that the Houston Rockets have tried to play.
That is absurd to me. I was blown away when I saw that stat. I was like, wow. But
that's why everyone always wants him to be Olympic Melo, because NBA Melo likes the long 2, the inefficient long 2, whereas Olympic Melo just got standstill 3s.
Right. So can this Melo thing work?
I don't know, man. I wasn't sure that Harden and Paul could work, and they obviously have. So it's like, can it? Yeah. Will it? I still don't know. He cannot be the third guy. Capella needs to be the third guy.
I agree. No.
If Melo wants to come up with a 20-point game once every 5 games and drop in a couple threes, hey, man, that's awesome. But I might even think Eric Gordon's the 4th option.
Yeah. Melo's gonna pull though. Like he's gonna pull.
He should He should find himself with a lot of good looks because he's like the 4th or 5th option.
But my point is, Melo's gonna get the ball and he's pulling the trigger.
Yeah, he's not scared of anything. He'll just let it fly.
Right.
Yeah.
He's never seen a shot he doesn't like. Mm-hmm. So I think that we're kind of looking at. This could either help the Rockets. What Melo are you getting? Are you getting early Knicks Melo, that's putting up 22, 23
He
games?
needs 20 shots to get it.
Yeah. So if he's...
Do you even want that Melo?
If he's OKC
on the Rockets,
Melo,
I wouldn't want that Melo.
If he's OKC Melo, then the Rockets have no chance of beating anybody.
Yep.
But if you get like an efficient 8 of 14 Melo, we have a different story.
I don't even like Melo taking 14 shots. But, hey, man, if you're open, I guess shoot it. But.
Yeah. So another stat I have for you, okay? So 3 days ago, we all know that the Knicks are one of the worst teams in the Eastern Conference, right?
Yep.
Without Porzingis probably won't even play this year, right?
Yeah, and they're playing a lot of young guys. They're letting the young guys play through mistakes. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, they're not a good team.
I like 2 of their guys.
Who do you like?
I like Mitchell Robinson a lot.
Yeah, he's legit. You see that dunk he had? It was sick.
And the other guy I like is Alonzo Trier.
Really? You don't like Frankie Smokes? Frank Ntilikina?
I mean, he's a defensive guy. I mean, I'm not going to win a championship with Ntilikina.
Yep.
Never.
Yep.
But Alonzo Trier comes out 3 days ago, drops 23 points, 8 of 10 from the field, and he goes undrafted.
Isn't Trey Burke like their leading scorer?
Yeah.
Or Tim Hardaway?
I think it's going to be Hardaway, but Enes Kanter is putting a bunch of really nice games together. I mean, Kanter is a solid out. He's averaging 14 and 10. So,
that's pretty good.
Yeah, as a 3-7, team, Kanter leads their team in PER. Noah Vonleh comes in at
he's
second
playing pretty
on
well
the
too.
PER with 18, but they
I
got a bunch of guys up there. Kevin Knox is coming back soon.
He's legit. I literally think the Knicks are sort of doing what LA did last year.
The Clippers?
No, the New York Knicks.
Oh,
yeah. They're doing what the Lakers did last year. In that, I think that they're putting this product out on the court to show NBA superstars this is what we got, who you want out of them. It's just a bunch of young kids who aren't ready to.
Right.
So the idea is, we got a bunch of young prospects. Hey, Durant, hey, Kyrie, if you guys like any of these guys, come on down. We'll keep the guys you like, just like they did in L.A. Like last year was almost like an audition. Last year, the whole season, the Lakers were basically just on an audition for superstars. Yeah. To see who wanted to come join them. And once he saw enough of what he needed to see, he was like, all right, let's do it. So I think that that's sort of what the Knicks are doing. They just don't have Porzingis and Kevin Knox. That's what they'd like to be doing. Play a bunch of young guys plus Porzingis and Knox, and then just it's fine. Let them play 38 minutes a game. Let them play through mistakes. Let them lose. That's fine. This is all about the future. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm going to take that back. I think Ntilikina blows. I think he probably really isn't even an NBA player. His PR sits right now at 8.1.
Ooh, it's not good.
29 minutes a game, 8 points per game, 4 rebounds, just under 2 assists. 2 rebounds and just over 4 assists. He averages 2 turnovers a game. That's not great.
Yeah.
It's not bad, but it's just nothing really on his stat sheet stands out to me that he is really an NBA player. So there's that. I mean, the Knicks are just kind of one of those teams. They're going to have a lot of money at the end, and they're doing the right thing. Hold Porzingis out all year. Hold him out next year. Just kind of what Philly did a couple years ago.
Yeah, I agree.
Hold him out. Why risk his injury? But yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I want to get into Toronto a little bit. We already talked about all this, but we got to get back into it since I didn't hit record. So Toronto's 9-1. They blasted the Lakers yesterday with no Kawhi. It was 42-17 in the first quarter. Ibaka made his first 14 shots from the field. The last player to start 14 for 14 in a game was Shaq, February 25th of 2006. And yeah, man, that team is awesome. They look awesome.
Yeah.
And what I want to talk about, which isn't getting a lot of mention, Kyle Lowry.
He looks like a totally different player.
A totally different player. He leads the league in assists. He had 15 more of them yesterday. Let me read you a little something about Kyle Lowry. You ready for this? 18 points per game, 4.3 rebounds, 11.6 assists, 23.8 PER, 63% true shooting percentage.
That's absurd.
63%. All right, now ready for this? I'm going to read you. Steve Nash won 2 MVPs. I'm going to read you the stats of his better season. This is Steve Nash's best MVP season. 18.8 points per game to Kyle Lowry's 18. 4.2 rebounds to Kyle Lowry's 4.3. 10.5 assists to Kyle Lowry's 11.6. 23.3 PER to Kyle Lowry's 28.3 PER. 63% shooting percentage to Kyle Lowry, true shooting percentage to Kyle Lowry's 63% true shooting percentage. Kyle Lowry right now has the exact same stat line that Steve Nash did in his best MVP season, except he's averaging more assists.
And see, the thing is about that is it's really crazy because he's not going to win the MVP.
No, of course not. Of course not.
We're right. But that just speaks to
also, by the way,
how
Nash
much,
should not have won those MVPs.
Right, but that also speaks to how much the NBA has grown and how much talent is out there right now. I mean, just because of, just what Curry and Giannis are doing is just video game like.
Yeah, yep.
So it's kind of like Lowry is doing all these amazing things, and I still wouldn't even put him in the top 3 for the MVP. Maybe not even top 5.
Neither was I. I wasn't trying to make a case for MVP.
Right,
I was just trying to show that this dude is playing high-level basketball.
Right, I know, but I'm saying that you were saying that Nash was an MVP. Not that I'm saying Lowry is going to win an MVP or whatever, but I'm saying for is as deep as the NBA grows year after year.
Well, Nash should not have won those MVPs. Nash has 2 MVPs, which is one more than Kobe and Shaq combined. So he shouldn't have that.
No, but
regardless, your point stands.
Yeah, right.
For sure.
I agree. I think that the NBA is growing, and I know we were talking about this a lot last week, but the NBA is so great because every year you have a stud coming out of the draft that is ready to just fit in with the NBA.
Yeah.
No adjustments.
Yep.
The number 1 pick in the draft is always going to be a stud.
Yeah, it seems like
Ayton is no adjustment period. He's already averaging double-doubles. Trae Young already averaging double-doubles. Luka Doncic already averaging, 16, 17 a game. All these guys are coming in, and they're just fitting right in.
Yeah.
And they're playing at a higher level, and
Kyle
they're playing
Kuzma,
at a higher level
Donovan Mitchell, Jason
right.
Tatum.
They're playing at a level higher than guys who've been in the league for 10 years.
Yeah.
So
it's weird. It's
unbelievable.
It's like either the college athletes are getting better coming out of school or the NBA level's getting worse because it never used. Well, of course not. I'm just saying.
Right.
Because it never used to be that rookies could come in and play this. Like Donovan Mitchell's averaging 20-something points a game as a rookie. What?
Yeah.
What is he, LeBron James?
Exactly.
What is that? Yeah.
Because,
it's very weird.
Yeah, and see, the way rookie campaigns are supposed to go is kind of like a Wendell Carter.
Yeah, you're supposed to have like 8 points a game, then 12, then 17, then 21, then 27.
You don't just jump in
to 20 points a game. Yeah, it's weird.
That's absurd.
What are you in your 4th season?
Right,
yeah.
and that's what makes it so crazy is on draft night, a single team can get one guy and boom, their season is changed completely for the whole year. They turn their franchise around with
trajectory of
one
their
pick.
entire franchise has changed. Yeah,
right.
For the whole next
one
20
pick,
years.
One pick.
Yeah.
And that's crazy to me because
that's what Jason Tatum will be. Watch.
Utah was in a rebuild mode.
Yep.
I mean, they had just
and
lost
then they go,
Hayward.
Yeah, and then they're like, oh, look at this
yeah,
guy. He just
now
sort
we
of
have Donovan
was
Mitchell,
a diamond in the rough.
And now, you get Mitchell late in the draft. By no means was it early. Late in the draft. Which, I mean, even further proves my point that, how good the NBA prospects are coming in really are. But Utah was in a rebuild mode, losing Hayward. There was talks about trading Gobert. They picked up Rubio. They were like, okay, we'll see what's going to happen. And then Mitchell averaged 20 a game, and they're a 5 seed in the West. It's kind of like
they won a playoff series against the MVP,
right?
And Donovan Mitchell outplayed Russell Westbrook every game.
Yeah, I agree, and it was like whoa, it was like this guy is legit.
Yeah, he even played point guard because Rubio went down, so he'd move positions and still was balling.
Yeah, I agree, and there was even talks before the draft that the Bulls were interested in Favors, and the Jazz were like, sell everything, we're getting rid of everybody. What can we get for whoever? And then all of a sudden Mitchell is like a superstar, and now it's kind of like, okay, but that's kind of what the thing is with the NBA is you have one bad year. The next year, if you hit your free agents and you hit your draft pick, you're in the playoffs.
So
simple as that.
So
look at Indiana with
piggybacking on that. This Boston team is fascinating to me because their best players are the ones who played last year.
Yeah,
it's funny that all right. Gordon Hayward does not look like himself.
No, not at all.
He does not look good yet. He does not look ready yet. He doesn't look like half the player he was before. It is hard right now for me to justify him getting 25 to 30 minutes a game.
Yeah.
It seems ridiculous. The other night, he clearly hurt them. I think they clearly have Bill Simmons, the famous Boston sports guy.
Right.
He put out a great thing saying, they clearly have 8 guys better than him right now.
Right.
It's not a slight on him. He's coming back from injury right now.
But that's a fact.
Yeah. And it's like you get these guys like Jason Tatum. When you signed Hayward, you didn't know what you had in Jason Tatum. You know what I mean? And so I want to read the stat here because getting into Boston, they started bad. They won, 4 straight, I think.
Yeah.
All right. But
Kyrie's back.
Sort of.
Yeah.
He still looks like he doesn't trust that knee. He's still not as explosive as he was before. And he's also... They don't look like they know. They still don't look like they know who to go when. The one game, Jaylen Brown has 18 points and Kyrie has 3. Yeah. The next game, Kyrie has 31 and Jaylen Brown has 5. It's like they don't know what to do when and where. It's like when you watch the Warriors, you know exactly who's getting how many shots. KD and Curry are going to get both close to 20, 25. Clay's going to get 16. Yeah, exactly. It's always the same. Whereas, all right, so I'm going to read this stat. So, in the 134 minutes that Gordon Hayward and Kyrie Irving have been on the court together this season, they've been outscored by 15 points. Are you ready for this? Now, in the 126 minutes that Marcus Smart and Terry Rozier have been on the court together, They've outscored their opponents by 52 points.
That's an absurd stat.
That is
That's
insane.
crazy.
You're telling me when Kyrie and Hayward play through
That's
10
like $50
games.
million on your
Through
bench.
10 games, they're still losing by 15 points. When it's Rozier and Marcus Smart, they're blowing teams out.
Yeah. That's like
Marcus Smart made the game-winning defensive play the other day too. It's like there's guys who you don't need so many max. I mean, who am I to tell Danny Ainge what he needs, but it's like they don't really seem to. I don't know why I don't have faith in them, considering they've been playing much better than they were at the beginning of the season. It must just be my Hayward thing that he just doesn't look right. And they are just determined to put him out there for 30 minutes a game. They clearly have guys. Marcus Morris is playing incredibly. He was 5 of 8 from 3 the other night. He had 5 threes. The night before, he had 15 points in the first half. Like, Marcus Morris is playing awesome. You could do Tatum at the 3 and Morris at the 4. I don't know. It just seems, I don't know. There's something to keep an eye on because I just don't know. They still seem shaky to me. They don't seem like Toronto. Toronto seems way better, regardless of what happens when they play each other. Toronto just looks like a better team.
Right, I agree. But Hayward, I mean, we're talking about a max contract guy.
A max slot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a whole slot. I mean, that's a whole player
It's 30,
that is eating up
30 minutes
million,
a game, and he's scoring, and he's coming up with 5 points sometimes.
Yeah.
He's had 1, 2 good games. Whereas, I don't think Terry Rozier is a guy. There are certain guys who can thrive off the bench in role player minutes. There's certain guys who can play 18 minutes a game and give you 18 points.
Right.
Like Terry Rozier. And then there's certain guys who can't. I don't think Terry Rozier can come off the bench. I'm sorry. I just messed that up. Opposite. Terry Rozier is one of these guys that can't, in my opinion. I don't think he's a bench player. I don't think that you can get an optimal performance out of Terry Rozier in 18 minutes off the bench. I think if you want him to play his best, he needs to be in a rhythm. I think that way about a lot of guys. And he could play the 2. Kyrie can play the 2. There are tons of different lineups they can use if they didn't have Gordon Hayward.
So I'm gonna give you a little quiz here, okay? So I'm gonna list 2 players on the Boston Celtics, okay? I'll give you 4 options for the player, okay?
Okay.
Player A, okay, has a 13.6 PER.
This season?
Yeah. This is as of right now. Player A has a 13.6 PER, 32 minutes a game, 15.8 points per game, 7.7 rebounds a game.
What's his PER?
13.6.
And how many minutes? How many points?
15.8.
And how many minutes?
32.
You got players for me? You're going to give me options?
Yeah. Okay, so remember that. That's player A.
Okay.
Okay. Player B, okay.
You said 17 points?
Player B has an 18.7 PER. Averages 15.7 points per game, 7 rebounds a game.
So very close.
Right. Okay. So your 4 options are Jason Tatum, Kyrie Irving, Jaylen Brown, Marcus Morris.
It's Marcus Morris is one of them.
Which one?
Give me the lines again, the numbers.
Marcus Morris, okay. 18.7 PER.
Oh, you're telling me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Is
Okay,
he
you have
A
to
or
guess
B?
the other one.
Was he A or B?
He was B.
Okay.
Player A.
Read me the player A line and don't tell me who it is.
13.6 PER, 15.8 points per game, 7.7 rebounds a game.
And give me my options.
Jason Tatum, Kyrie Irving, Jaylen Brown.
How many points per game?
15.8.
Is it Tatum?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jason Tatum and Marcus Morris have the same stat line. Same.
Yeah. I told you, Marcus Morris is playing awesome this year.
Right.
He's hitting so many threes.
Right. Jason Tatum has kind of been overhyped this year, is my
Well,
point.
I think, it's about opportunity. Jason Tatum needs the ball. Jason Tatum is like the one guy on that team who I think needs the ball. Well, Kyrie needs the ball, but
So-
Jaylen Brown doesn't need the ball. Horford doesn't need the ball. Even Hayward doesn't really even need the ball.
So Tatum's 15.8.
So when you have a team of 5 All-Stars and his usage rate gets cut in half, of course his stats.
Well, I'm saying, though, that Tatum's 15.8 to Morris's 15.7. Tatum's 7.7 to Marcus Morris's 7.7 rebounds, right? Tatum's shooting 41%. Marcus Morris is shooting 52%. 35% from 3 to 53% from 3.
Marcus Morris, I'm telling you, he's reigning this year.
And that's a crazy stat to think about because when you see Morris, you're kind of like, ugh.
Yeah.
I don't want anything to do with that guy.
Dude, him and his brother's playing good this year, too.
Yeah. But I think that it's crazy because Tatum is so overhyped. And I phrased that wrong because I know he's good. I'm not saying that he's overrated by any means, but a little bit.
I disagree.
I think Tatum is really good.
I think you take Kyrie and Gordon Hayward back out, he goes right back to averaging 24.5 points a game.
He's the best player in the draft, but you're probably right. It probably has something to do with Kyrie and Hayward.
What is his usage rate right now? Let's look up Jason Tatum's usage rate last year and his usage rate so far this year. Let's see what we get here, and then let's compare the stat line. That he
it's 22.3 to or 0.223 to Marcus Morris's 0.218.
Can you tell me what it was last year?
Yeah.
So his usage rate is 22.
Yeah. See,
That's not bad actually. That's more than I thought it would be.
Right. I agree, but I just think that it's crazy because we just think that. I mean, Tatum will hit an open shot in the 3, and everyone will be like, "Oh my God, he's 18."
No. It's about his game when he has the ball. It's about his moves.
No, I'm not sleeping on Tatum at all.
He's like Kobe. His game is like Kobe if Kobe was 6'9".
His usage rate,
his mid range is so wet. His move, he can just get a look on anybody. His step backs and he's so shifty. Yeah. He's so silky smooth.
His usage rate is 19.5.
Yeah, so it went down a good amount.
Well, last year it was.
So it's higher this year?
22.4 this year.
Well, that's the whole season of last year, in which most of Kyrie was there, most of it. Yeah. I would like to know that little section when Kyrie and Hayward was out. What were his usage rate and numbers? I don't know if we'll be able to find that, but that would be what because I think that's a more accurate measurement of how he is.
I mean, I agree.
You're talking about right now he's playing on what's basically a championship team.
Right.
You know what I mean?
His PR last year was 15.
And that changes everything, in my opinion, because it's like you have guys who aren't good, like Zach LaVine. He averages like 27 points a game. Put him on a championship team, it ain't like that. You know what I mean? It's like I think that
he'll get you 18.
Probably, but so my whole point is if Tatum will get you 18 right now, you put him on a different team, he'll get you 27.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You're probably right, but as far as like his PER, because as far as how I evaluate players and how I look at players.
Well, I also think we have to take everything we're seeing from Boston with a grain of salt for right now because they're not playing the style that they will be playing later because they don't have it figured out. Just straight up, they do not have their style figured out. So we do have to take everything with a grain of salt.
I agree, but last year's PR, I know he's a rookie, but he's 15. It's very average.
Yeah, fair enough.
Very
but
average.
He makes impactful plays, like how you were saying earlier that who was it earlier that you were like, yeah, he scores 20 points a game, but they're so quiet. Oh, it's Wiggins. Yeah. He's basically the opposite of Wiggins, where his buckets come at crucial times. Yeah. Remember that dunk he had on LeBron? He makes impactful plays, whereas, like, you know, a lot of guys will have the same numbers, but they do not play the same style of game. You know what I mean? No. He's like a winning player. Yeah. It's like his numbers are whatever. It's more like what he's doing out there. Yeah, I mean, I see your point. There's an argument to be made that it was well argued. You're still wrong, but it was well argued. Well argued point.
No, right. I'm a big Tatum guy. I like Tatum a lot, but there comes a point where it's kind of like, all right, you know, kind of relax.
Step up and show me more.
Right,
yeah,
exactly.
Fair
That's
enough.
what I
fair
want.
Enough.
You know, and everyone's okay. Tatum's working with Kobe. Tatum's doing this. Tatum's doing that. But he's, you know, his PR is still 15.
I just think he needs more opportunity.
Yeah.
I think that Gordon Hayward is sucking up a lot of his minutes, they play the same style. Like right now they have Tatum at the 4, and that's fine. He can play the 4, but he's at 3. Right. In the NBA, he's at 3. Then you have Gordon at the 3, so you have Tatum at the 4. It's like not only is he eating his minutes, he's taking his natural position too, which I'm sure affects some of it.
there's no doubt in my mind that Tatum is going to be a stud. So
Better than
You're right,
Hayward.
yeah.
Way better. He might be better than him right now.
I think Tatum is going to be a superstar in the league.
So do I.
Right. But as of now, just average to me. I mean, based off the statistics, I mean, his PR right now is 13. You know? You're probably right
enough,
that I
fair
think
enough.
he needs more opportunity. But as of now, I mean, it's just kind of, you know?
So speaking of Boston, you see Oladipo hit that game winner.
Yeah. Oladipo can ball, and
Indiana. We already went over this last time when we didn't record it, but let's just go over it real quick. We both have Indiana as a fairly legit
Corey Joseph,
Eastern
he's
Conference
a nice
dark
little
horse.
solid
They'll be
player. Doug McDermott has
Yep,
kind of turned
he
his
can
career
shoot.
around.
They'll be a problem in the playoffs. I
Kyle
promise you
Quinn
that.
is a solid option off the bench.
The dude who shoots, what's his name? Bogdanovich?
Yeah, Bogdanovich.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
he's a shooter.
Yeah, he's a sniper. Miles Turner can hoop, and Collison can
Yeah,
ball.
and then they
Young
had
is
that-
valuable. I like the Pacers a lot. Sabonis and
Oh,
Tyreek
Sabonis
Evans.
is playing awesome right now. And, they had that experience of playing LeBron. In the playoffs,
Sabonis' PR is
No-
27.
no one on the Cavs, when they had that series against the Cavs last year in the playoffs, no one on the Cavs outside of LeBron James averaged more than 10 points against Indiana.
Yeah.
They have a good defense. And that experience of playing LeBron in the playoffs is definitely helpful for a young team. You know what I mean? Like, they've been there now. They know how high that hill is that they have to climb. You know what I'm saying?
No, I agree. But Oladipo's averaging 1.7 steals per game.
Really?
That's crazy.
That's awesome.
Yeah. That's pretty impressive. On top of a 22.5 points per game along with 7 rebounds. But, I like Indiana.
Oladipo might have a better season than Paul George this year, and the Pacers are going to be better than OKC.
Well, Oklahoma City is coming back now. They're 4-4 and they're 8 in the West.
Yeah, we'll see if it lasts.
Yeah, I took a hot take this year, and I don't think OKC is going to make it.
I wouldn't be surprised. They don't even make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Remember, last year between the 3 seed and not making the playoffs was 2 games.
I mean, it's up for debate, I mean,
Or 4 games. Was it 4?
Paul George averaged 2.5 steals a game.
Yeah, Paul George.
That's
Well, he's got
absurd.
long arms. He plays awesome passing lanes. If you look at his deflections per game, it's the most in the league by like 5 a game. Like he
Yeah.
gets like 7 or maybe it's 6, and then the next guy's like 2.
You told me last week that Nerlens Noel leads the team in PER.
Yeah.
that's a great stat.
Yeah,
That
it's like
is unbelievable.
27 or something. It was
right.
so high.
Yeah,
It was like such a small sample size, but that's what's great about PER is it takes into account your usage rate. So
Right.
it knows if you're only touching the ball 5 times a game. It's like, listen, if you're touching the ball 5 times a game and every time you're converting to points and you're doing great on defense, and you only play for 6 minutes, your PER will still be sky high because it takes that into account. So I loved that. That was my favorite part of the small sample size so far. Nerlens Noel being the best player on OKC. That is so funny.
Yeah, I agree. But how about I'm going to keep going on this because I'm starting to kind of rock with the Clippers.
Really? I'll tell you what, Tobias Harris.
Five guys on their team with a PR over 20.
Yeah, their team's fairly they have that. It's the opposite of the dynamic it was before. Their identity is like a team identity now.
Well, see, we were talking a lot about this last week, and I want to get right back into this point. And the thing is that they're so deep. Tobias Harris, Danilo Gallinari.
Yeah, they have so many guys. They have like
Avery
11
Bradley.
guys.
We're going to go through the roster real quick. Okay, so Patrick Beverley, Avery Bradley, right? Milos Teodosic, Lou Williams. Gallinari, Montrezl Harrell, Tobias Harris, Luke Mbamute, and then
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
yeah, Shai
the rook.
Gilgeous-Alexander, and then
He had
you
an
go,
incredible highlight play the other night behind
Right,
the back.
yeah.
It was sick.
and then you got Gortat and Boban on your.
And they're
bench.
bringing that kid along. Well, he played 24 minutes the other night. He was plus 22.
Right.
When a lot of their starters were like Tobias Harris was plus 3, Gallinari was plus 10.
Right.
Marjanovic was plus 4, Bradley was plus 8,
But my
Beverly was
point
plus
is-
3. And all of a sudden, Gilgeous-Alexander's plus 22.
Yeah, but my point is Doc can go with so many different directions, and I think this is so cool that he can do this. He can go a defense only lineup. He can throw
he has
Beverly,
2
Bradley, Mbamute, Boban. And,
He has 2 full NBA rosters.
right,
Like
and
2 full
it's
NBA
crazy.
teams.
And
Yeah.
both of these teams, both of these lineups that he put, they're easily 10 deep.
Yeah, so they can go with an offensive lineup of
Gallinari,
Lou
and-
Williams, Avery Bradley, Gallinari, or Lou Williams, Tobias Harris, Gallinari, Barjanovic, and
Montrezl Harrell.
Or they go with a defensive lineup of Patrick Beverly at the 1, Avery Bradley. Right, yeah. So they
Alexander can play on that lineup, and Boban can be, and then Mbah Moute.
Yeah, Luke Mbah Moute,
so
yeah.
They have so many pieces, though, and it's so crazy to think about because Clippers can be down 10, and then, whoop, in comes the offensive lineup, and boom, they're right in the game. You need to stop. Put in Alexander, put in Beverly, and put in Avery Bradley. How are you scoring on that? And Boban? No way. So the Clippers are not going to win anything long term. Down the road, they're not going to win a championship, but it's a very cool roster construction. And if they get in the playoffs, I wouldn't want to play them in the first round, especially if I'm, like in OKC or if I'm a, Denver or something. I wouldn't want to play the Clippers in the first round.
Really?
Yeah, no way.
Denver's 8-1.
I know, but I wouldn't want to play them. No way.
That's fair.
That's 10 deep.
That's fair.
10 deep.
Yeah.
In the altitude.
They don't really have a big man that can deal with the Joker, though.
No, you're right. But, they have so many other pieces, though, that it doesn't really matter.
They have a lot of different ways to beat you.
And that's amazing to me. I think that's so cool.
Yeah.
You want to take another break and we'll start our third segment?
Yeah, all right. Sounds good. Let's take a little break. All right, guys. Welcome back to the Step Back. All right, let's jump right back into it. What do you want to get into?
I want to start with something hilarious that I saw. It has nothing to do with basketball. Okay. But I don't know if you're a big NFL guy.
No, not anymore.
Right. But there was a story that came out about Jamarcus Russell.
Mm-hmm.
And do you know Jamarcus Russell?
Yeah, of course. So a quarterback, big guy.
Yeah. It's considered one of the biggest busts in NFL history.
Yeah.
Raiders coaches released a story the other day saying that they sent Jamarcus Russell home with blank tapes to study to see if he was actually doing what he was supposed to do, and came back to practice the next day and said he was studying blitz packages.
And there was
nothing on the tapes.
Yeah.
And I just found that hilarious. I thought that
I remember my favorite thing about him was his unapologetic love for Mobile, Alabama. It's so funny.
Yeah, I just thought that was
He was
hilarious.
arrested for possession of codeine and stuff like that. Yeah, hilarious.
But going back in the NBA, I know you wanted to talk about...
Well, hold on. Let me get into one more thing. We talked about the last one that we didn't talk about this one. Go over your Curry numbers again.
Okay, yeah.
The 50 or 40, 50, 90.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so some interesting stats. Okay, so the 50-40-90 club, for those of you who don't know, is shooting 50% from the field, 40% from three, and 90% at the line. Minimum of 1,000 minutes played, okay? Last year, these are all the players that were close to being in the 50-40-90 club. So, like I said, 50% from the field, 40% from three, 90 at the line. Curry goes 48.8 from the field, 41 from three, 91% from the line. If he raises his field goal percentage 2%, he's in, right? Klay Thompson goes 48 from the field, 45 from three, and 88.1 from the line. KD goes 51% from the field, 41% from the line, and 41 from three, 88 at the line. The fourth person is Darren Collison from the Patriots,
that's surprising.
49% from the field, 43 from three, and 88 from the line, which is crazy. And that's just unbelievable to me. And the last one I want to make is this one is just absurd. So Curry is the only unanimous MVP in NBA history, right?
Yep.
2015-2016 was the year he won it.
That season for Curry was magical.
Right.
Every single game was must-watch TV. He was going to hit a 48-footer.
Yeah, I agree. They start 9-0. He does 31.9 a game. 52% from the field, 45 from three, which is absurd.
That's insane. Yeah. That's one of the greatest three-point shooting seasons of all time. Now listen to this.
This year, they're 8-1, right? 33 points a game. 55 from the field.
And they've added another MVP since that first season that you're talking about.
33 points per game, 55 from the field, 53 from three-point land, and has made 55 three-pointers on the year.
That's just asinine.
Yeah.
It's just absurd.
That is mind-blowing.
If the season ended today, that would be the greatest shooting season of all time by far.
By like a lot.
Yeah, by a ton.
Yeah, and Curry's shooting 53% from 3. That's like more than half of your threes that you're taking go in.
It's insane. So they were saying that this year Steph Curry might be able to start a new club. Because, all right, hold on, let me backtrack. So you're talking about the players in the – oops, sorry, that was my – oh, listen to Siri talking about Stephen Curry.
Yeah, right.
So you name the players here in the 40, 50, 90 club. Now listen to this. Who's the only player to ever be in the 50, 50, 90 club is actually Stephen Clay's coach, Steve Kerr, in 95, 96. Coincidentally, it was actually MJ's first full season after he went and played baseball because, he came back for like right at the end of the year, the one season, and dropped the double nickel in the Garden and then lost in the playoffs. But that next season is when Kerr went 50, 50, 90. And so people this year are wondering if Steph could start his own club, which would be the 50, or wait, no, it would be the 50, 55, 95 club.
That would be absurd.
That's what like a bunch of people are wondering about Steph. That would just be, insane. All right, let's get into a couple other things.
Wait, here, hold up. Before we move on,
okay,
I have another absurd stat for you. Or not absurd, but pretty cool stat.
Okay.
So I'm a big Trae Young guy.
Yeah, he's legit.
Love Trae Young. I think he.
See that pass he made? He didn't even put his other hand on the ball. He just caught it with this hand and
he's gonna be a problem.
Yeah, he's legit.
Yeah.
His passing is my favorite.
This is
he just nutmegs people all the time.
This is a stat from nyloncalculus.com. Okay.
Second level.
Yeah. Field goal percentage on drives per game, right?
Uh-huh.
Minimum of 10 drives per game. Westbrook, number 1, shooting 63% on drives. Giannis, number 2, 62.5. Tony Parker, 3 at 58.3. 4's Trae Young at 57.1.
What? On drives?
Yeah. So
that's a crazy stat.
So I think we all looked at Trae Young as, oh, he's not going to survive in today's NBA. He's too little. He's way
today's
littler
NBA
than
is
Curry.
made for Trae Young.
He's too little. All he does is shoot. He takes terrible shots. But he's shooting 50% when he drives the ball and is also hitting 30-footers.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
he's averaging double-doubles.
Yeah.
He's
so
getting 15
what are
dimes
we waiting
sometimes.
on Trae Young? What if the Hawks do something crazy?
Winning.
Yeah.
It took a long time. It took Steph Curry 7 seasons before they turned it around. They had a lot of – it was a long, tumultuous time.
What if they pair Trae Young with R.J. Barrett? Or like a Zion?
Yeah, there's multiple kids on that Duke team. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I still think you need so many more parts before it starts to work.
But Trae Young is a legitimate first
He's
piece.
A piece. Yeah,
He
for
is
sure.
a legitimate first piece. He is somebody the Hawks are building their franchise around the right way.
Yep.
Correctly. They're doing that correctly.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think that – and also number 5 on that list was DeMar DeRozan.
And it's also, you have to say that he gets so many assists, and he's on such a bad team.
And
you know how many shots – you know how many assists that kid should get? If Alex Len could hit a 9-footer wide open, it's like he should finish with 19 assists a game.
For all of you, follow me on Twitter, @PatSabolka, right? My pinned tweet is an article I did on Trae Young on why Trae Young should be a top 3 pick in the draft. By far, nobody should pass on him. He should be the best player, one of the more valuable pieces in this draft, and why people need to stop sleeping on him. Why they need to stop. Because Trae Young is he was doing all of this with no help at Oklahoma. I mean, he was playing like this with
double
bums.
Teams, yeah.
With bums, and these are legitimate NBA players. If he gets help, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Can you
gonna
imagine
be
Klay Thompson? With
oh
him?
my
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah.
Or like a Devin
How about
Booker.
LeBron James?
Yeah, I know.
Can you imagine if he was a secondary ball handler?
Right. I know. That's absurd to me because
I'll go with a swap Alonzo and Trae if you're Magic Johnson any day of the week. You want Alonzo? I'll take Trae Young.
Right. Yeah. I'll throw a couple picks too.
Yeah.
You can have whatever you want. Just
Yeah.
give me Trae Young.
Yep.
You know, and I would do that in the blink of an eye.
So would I.
Yeah.
So would I.
Trae Young should win the not the MVP. Oh my God. Should win the Rookie of the Year, but he won't.
Ooh, who do you think's gonna win? Luka?
Ayton.
DeAndre Ayton. He's my least favorite out of all the rookies.
Really?
Yeah, because I think that the game's passed him by. Once the playoffs start and it's real time, his game is obsolete, next to obsolete.
I disagree. I think he's going to be like a Cat 2.0.
We'll see. I think Cat blows too.
Really?
Yes. I think he's one of the most overrated players in the league.
Yeah, I don't think that.
Yeah.
I think Cat's a stud.
I think that he's going to have – I think that Minnesota is a terrible place for him. I think in like 5 years he's going to get traded somewhere, and then he'll play great, and everyone will be like, what in the world?
Yeah.
Because I think he
But
has
he's
the
already
talent.
doing like 26 and 18.
Every other game, every 3 games, he puts up a line like that, and then he puts up 7 points and 9 rebounds in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
He disappears. He misses late game free throws. The other night he lost him that game by missing those free throws.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think,
out of all those guys, though, in Minnesota, I would want Cat.
not me. I want Jimmy. To start a championship team, I want Jimmy. Even though I
Really?
don't necessarily agree with all the way he does things, and I don't think he has quite the juice that he thinks he has. All of that being said, I still think he's a winning
Wiggins
player.
is least,
He's
right?
Wiggins
I
think Jimmy is the most of a winning player where where it doesn't matter about stats. It doesn't matter about Cat is out there playing for stats, 100% in my opinion.
Yeah.
You could see it. Jimmy says it. Everyone says it. I think you could see it. I can see it. He plays sort of like LeBron does, where you're like, oh, this guy isn't even out here trying to win. He's just trying to make sure that his bottom line looks good so he doesn't get blamed. I see a lot of that from Cat. Obviously, I'm not saying he's bad. I'm comparing him to how he's rated. I think he's a great player, obviously, but
Right.
I just think he's a little overrated.
So I want to start.
But that team needs to move Jimmy because they're in trouble right now.
I
Because they sat Jimmy again yesterday. They call it "quote unquote" rest. It's not rest. It's Jimmy not wanting to play / them not wanting to play him because he's going to get traded. And they lost by 30.
It's very awkward.
They lost
the
by
whole
30.
situation is so awkward.
It's so bad. Yeah, they need to make a move now.
Yeah.
They're in trouble.
I agree. Moving on though, I want to start a new segment, okay, and just kind of a stat, a did you know stat, okay, can you believe what this player is doing type thing, okay. My player for the week, Josh Richardson.
What do you got?
20.8 points per game, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal, 1.1 steals per game, and a block.
Yeah, it's definitely a legit line.
Yeah.
Wow. Is that really his line right now?
And PR is 17. He's just 35 minutes a game.
He's kind of on a bad team.
Yeah. I think Richardson would be a valuable piece on any
on a
other
good team. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. He plays the right style.
Right. He's long. He can shoot.
Yeah,
he plays
he
solid
plays
defense.
hard. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I love Josh Richardson.
Yeah, he's legit.
But he's my player of the week. I think he's a sleeper, and people need to wake up on him. So, but yeah, go ahead in your next point. My bad.
Wait, player of the week?
Yeah.
Let
He's
me
my sleeper player of the week.
Let me get one in
Okay,
here.
go ahead.
Sleeper player of the week. I might actually go with Trae Young.
Yeah.
Because he's a sleeper to me and other people who didn't think he was going to play this well. I mean, the nutmeg on the pick and roll where he throws it between the defender's legs to the roll man.
Oh, my God.
He's doing that once a game. He does it every game.
He's an unbelievable passer.
His vision is incredible.
Yeah. He can handle the ball. And, he's shooting 50% when he drives. So, how do you kind of stop him? It's kind of very, very odd. And, I'll even drop another one for you right here is Niko Mirotic.
Unbelievable. He's playing
22 and a half a game, averaging more than Jimmy Butler, Tobias Harris, and John Wall, as well as Donovan Mitchell. So
he's playing so good right now.
Yeah, and I think that he's the other one, but Nico's hitting like 4 or 5 threes a game. He's crazy. He's on another level. But yeah.
Yeah, he can shoot it, man.
Yeah, absolutely. But I want to get into.
And he is not. He'll let that sucker fly. He's not like. He's never seen a shot that he doesn't like.
Never.
He'll just let that.
Yeah, he
let it
pulls
fly
constantly.
Yeah.
Pulls the trigger constantly.
Yeah.
I want to talk about how atrocious the Memphis Grizzlies are.
Yeah. Did you see? Was it last night or 2 nights? Yeah, I think it was last night. Devin Booker.
Yeah.
Booker.
I'm gonna go through the roster right now. Okay. Marc Gasol. Okay.
Old as dirt, but still a good player.
Garrett Temple. Mike Conley. All right.
Overpaid.
Right. All right. Now we're getting to the good ones. Shelvin Mack, Kyle Anderson, Dylan Brooks, Wayne Selden Jr., Marshawn Brooks, Omri Caspi, Chandler Parsons, Jermichael Green, Ivan Rabb, and Yuta Wadabe.
Jaren Jackson Jr.
And Jaren Jackson Jr. I skipped him because he's cold. But
oh, so he wasn't making your point.
No.
My bad. Yeah, that's not the best.
that is awful.
Did you, Han, we got to throw some, I got to put it out there. Did you see Omri Caspi with the Sham God?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, it was sick.
And
dude.
actually, tonight is Omri Caspi ring night.
Oh,
in Oakland. Yeah,
lovely. I love it.
So they go into
Beautiful.
Oakland tonight, and he will get his ring, and well
yeah,
deserved.
man. Well, they were in that game last night. They should have won that game last night. And then, you know, Phoenix is only 2-7, and they're not good, but they're fun to watch. I like Phoenix.
Fun to watch.
Yeah.
My buddy, actually, who lives on campus here, loves the Suns. He thinks that, and honestly, if you look at the roster, it's kind of a cool roster.
They're all like young.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, Trevor Ariza is not playing. He's not even playing.
No.
He looks like he's just showing. Well, he's getting so much money.
Yeah.
That I think now he's pretty much half retired. He's
Yeah.
not playing anything like he was last year.
No, I agree. But I mean, Ariza had 39 minutes last night.
Yeah. What was his line?
16, 9, and 5.
Oh, that's actually really good. That is like he played
2
last
steals.
year. Yeah. Okay.
But
Well,
here
prior to that, he wasn't playing good.
I'm gonna go through their roster real quick. Ryan Anderson, shooter, sniper, right?
Mm-hmm.
Trevor Ariza, solid
No
player. If he does
defense.
16, 9, and 5, I'm
Oh, dude, I'll
totally
take that
content with
every
that.
single
Yeah.
day. Yeah.
Right. DeAndre Ayton, 9, 8, and 6, which, I mean, he's a rookie. We'll let it slide. Isaiah Canaan, awful. Devin Booker, can ball, right? Mikal Bridges, love Mikal Bridges. Give me more Mikal Bridges.
Yeah, he's legit.
Yeah. Josh Jackson. We'll see. We'll see about Josh Jackson. Jamal Crawford, Dragan Bender. He's probably garbage. But the guy that everybody sleeps on, and I don't know why, is TJ Warren. I'm a huge TJ Warren guy.
Yeah, plays awesome defense.
Yeah, he scores. He's averaging 15 and a half a game. And, I mean, TJ Warren can ball. When he was at NC State, he led the nation in scoring. The past 3 years with the Suns, 14.4. Last year does 19.6, and then does 15.3 this year. He shoots 46% from 3 this year. 22 last year was not good, but he's 49.8 or .498 field goal percentage, almost making 50% of his shots. You know, so TJ Warren is definitely can ball, and you know, I like the Suns team. They have a bunch of young guys that are all developing together.
So do I, man. Devin Booker can just ball,
yeah,
man.
Booker
He's
is
so legit.
such a stud.
He's so legit.
And
he had 25 points yesterday, 7 assists, and obviously came down when this game was 100 to 100. Or no, I'm sorry, it was 100 to 99, I believe.
Yeah, and he came down, hit the game winner.
And just right in your grill, he just stop and pop, 3-pointer, swish with 1 second left on the clock. So that's his. So he's 22. He's October of 96. He's only a 22-year-old kid, and that is his 3rd game winner with under 10 seconds to go on the clock in his
Suns
career.
Have a stud for a long time.
He's 22, and he's hit 3 game winners.
The crazy thing is, last year we were talking
under
about
10
this.
seconds.
Last year we were talking about how Booker had that 80-point game,
70-point
game.
Yeah.
And he was, 21?
And it was exactly a year after Kobe Bryant told him, be great.
Yeah, but
and
listen.
So a year later, he did that.
So he was 21 when he did this. We're talking Booker has 10 years in the league. Easy.
Yeah, he's a 6'6" shooting guard whose prime is going to be extended because
he's
his
21,
style. Yeah.
And he's going to be in the league 10 years and only be 31 and still be mildly young.
Yeah.
That's absurd.
Yeah, he's so legit.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I just see the real question is, can Phoenix ever win? Just because they're the Phoenix Suns.
Right. But I disagree with that because I think
that's.
the Suns,
I'm asking if it was Damian Lillard, Devin Booker, and Kevin Durant, and they were on the Suns.
Oh, they would win.
Could they?
Yeah, they'd win the championship.
I don't know that. Just because of the Phoenix Suns, the organization, the GM, the coaching, the climate, the culture, I don't even know that they could.
Well, I think the culture point is a little unfair because we all remember Nash and Marion and Stoudemire, and they were rolling. I mean, they were with D'Antoni. I mean, they were legit.
Yeah, D'Antoni's system really made Nash. I mean, it made him an MVP.
But their front office screwed that whole. You remember a couple years ago they had Bledsoe, Dragic, and Thomas.
Yeah, they also had Barkley too. Have they ever won a title? Do the Suns have any rings in their entire franchise history? I don't believe so.
Yeah.
They've had great teams that could just never come over the top.
Right.
But
But
I think that has to do with that same thing that Toronto had with LeBron, where it's like a mindset that you don't deserve to be here or something like that. Like you feel like you shouldn't. I don't know. It's like some weird thing. Obviously, I can't prove this. This is just my like weird gut feeling, but it just seems like these teams like that, like I don't know that they'll ever win. I don't know that the Phoenix Suns will ever win a title. They've had multiple incredible teams that had the chance, they could just never pull it off. And I'm sure that's unfair for me to say, but until one of these tiny market teams that we all always think are just bad does turn it around and win, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Well, see, that's the whole thing is I love the Suns roster. And honestly, I really thought Dragan Bender, when they drafted him, was going to be legit. But he has just, oh my God, just done nothing for the Suns ever. And, even Len, and when they drafted Len, he's been a buster. And the Suns have had so many busts in their draft pick history in the past couple of years since McDonough got there. And it's kind of like, you have so many opportunities to finally nail on one of these studs, and you just consistently miss, and that's what pushes these NBA teams into NBA hell, because you're in there for so long and you miss on picks, and you don't want to give up on guys because this guy was so highly picked.
That's what it is right there. The idea of working as hard as you can to be in the middle of the pack, that will only ever serve basketball teams poorly.
No, I agree. And see, the Bulls
if you think that you're going to be like in the middle of the pack, like you're going to work really hard for an 8 seed, dude, at that point, literally blow your team up and try to win 5 games.
Right.
Because that will be a faster rebuild than the rebuild you're trying to do of, we're going to go from the 8th seed to the 6th seed to the 5th seed to the 3rd to the and then finally in a couple of years. Dude, it's never happening. It's never going to happen. At that point, when you're like a mid-level decent team, you might as well just bomb it. And
well, see, that's the problem that the Bulls are going to be in, is because I think Dunn is a nice player. He's not going to be
because they're good enough to not be the worst team in the league anymore.
And
yeah,
see,
exactly.
Carter's bad to me.
Yeah,
so
same here.
See, but this is the problem I have, is the NBA is so difficult like this because it's so easy for players to just improve and get better over time. Like Oladipo, people gave up on Oladipo all over the league.
I know.
And OKC, so it's really hard for me to just quit on Wendell Carter after 7 games, and just be like, okay, he's done.
Yeah,
he's
a
garbage.
Yeah.
But he's shown me nothing. Literally nothing.
I didn't even like the pick to begin with. I thought it was taken up.
It's so boring. It's such a boring pick.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I just think that, the Bulls are going to be in this position for a while, because Markkanen, I think, is going to be crazy good.
I think that Wendell Carter slows down Markkanen's.
I agree.
Growth.
Oh, yeah, I couldn't agree with that more.
Like, the league is going towards small ball. The league is going towards take a power forward and make him your center. Well, you have Lauri Markkanen, who rips threes.
Yeah.
You could have a small ball center who can stretch the floor, but now instead you got like a log jam of guys that want those type of minutes, like low block minutes.
And Portis now, what do you do with Portis?
Yeah.
What do you do with Dunn and it's a very gross roster.
Yeah.
It's a gross overflow of the players in the same position that are on pace at the same time. Other than Markkanen. Markkanen is the best player.
Exactly.
Markkanen
by
and
far.
Levine are the centers of that franchise.
By far.
Everybody else is just kind of
Yeah, I still don't have long-term faith in Levine either.
Yeah.
I have short-term faith in him. He's been playing sick so far.
Yeah.
But you got to stay healthy, and you got to put that together for 82 games.
Yeah.
You can't be like flashy for 13 games, disappear for 9,
and then come back
for
4.
5. Yeah, no, dude, that's not. I mean, if you look at Curry, Durant, LeBron, like you don't. Yes, exactly. It's
constant.
Every single game. Yeah, exactly. You show up even when you feel like crap and it's an off night and you were out with the team last year. You need 28, 7, and 7. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it doesn't matter who you play, where you're at, what time it is, when the game is.
Yeah.
Anything
You got to show up, man.
Yeah.
You got to show up, and that's the one thing. That and injuries are the one thing that I don't trust with Levine. I think he's a great player. Obviously, he's a sick talent. He's lights out.
He has so much athleticism.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
It's sick.
And even watching the dunk contest and watching him do all that crazy stuff is like, whoa.
Yeah, he's legit.
And the Bulls have that now.
But it's like, you just gotta stay. Man, it's us too. We're Bulls we're Chicago people. We suffered through the Derrick Rose saga.
gosh,
and now we're getting like explosive score first point guards with ACL problems.
Yeah.
That makes us nervous,
Oh
you
my
know?
gosh, I
That
know.
makes us pull back like, what are we signing up for
Yeah,
here?
I know.
Yeah.
Right. And
you know?
Jabari comes in with a couple
Another knee
ACLs.
problems,
Oh,
yeah.
my gosh.
I made the joke when they signed Jabari. I was like, all right, hold on. I'm pretty sure there's got to be another guy with a torn ACL that the Bulls can sign. Who would it be?
Please.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
The torn ACL squad.
Yeah.
All right, so I want to get into this because this is kind of an important topic here, and we were talking about a team with the Bulls like that are log jammed at certain positions. We need to get into the Los Angeles Lakers. They're not good. They're not. But here's the thing: they've been in every single game. Every single game they've been in,
Except last night.
except yesterday. Yeah, yesterday they got blown out by the Raptors with no Kawhi. They were losing 42-17 at the end of the first quarter, and they just never could fight back in. Yeah, it was brutal. That was the second day of a back-to-back, though, so you could use that as an excuse, but still, you can't. I mean, dude, they look like they were stuck in mud. All right, but let's break down like our opinions of how the Lakers are, what makes them bad, what makes them good, and what they should do. Because I know tons of listeners like this topic because LeBron. So, what do you think about LA so far? What are your opinions? Let's get into it.
See, I'm not in panic mode yet.
All right, so did you hear the thing with Luke Walton and Magic Johnson? Magic was like, basically, all right, so I'll tell the listeners for people who don't know.
So, Luke Walton and Magic Johnson apparently had a meeting, right, in the front office, and it was a very heated meeting, and Magic was screaming, right? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, and he basically told him, you got to get yourself together.
Yeah. But all of a sudden now Magic is kind of coming out saying that his job is safe. And
yeah, he made it because then the media was like, whoa, is Luke going to lose his job? Because that's sort of like a LeBron trademark that the coach gets scapegoated when LeBron's team does bad.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Me neither. Yeah, Magic came out and said that. Yeah, Magic came out and said that Luke's job was safe at least till the end of the year. But here's the caveat: barring something catastrophic. That's what he said. Luke's job is safe to the end of the year, barring something catastrophic. And then they went out and got 42 points dropped on him in the first quarter because the whole meeting was about defense. Don't even talk about offense in practice. That's what Magic was saying to Luke. It's defense. We got to be winning these games. And then he said, Luke's job is safe, barring something catastrophic. And then they went out.
Well, he said something after that. He said
that is pretty catastrophic.
He said barring something catastrophic, but that won't happen. So his job is safe.
Yeah, I don't know where I stand on this one because I like Luke and I
like him a lot.
Yeah, and I like his relationship with the players because he seems like a young coach who lets the player. It seems like Rondo and LeBron are a part coach. That's the way it should be, rather than these old guys who just yell at players like that. We're moving away from that style. So I do like Luke, but I will say his rotations are
awful.
Brutal. Awful. They're a big reason that they've lost a lot of games. Another big reason is LeBron James' defense. Oh, we got a phone ringing. I wonder if that's for us. Doubtful, right?
Yeah, answer it.
Should I answer it?
Yeah.
I don't know if you'll be able to hear it on the air. I don't think you can. Here, I'll try. Hello. Oh, that's all right. Take care. All right, we had a little wrong number.
Oh, man.
I thought we were going to get a caller into the station talk about LeBron.
Yeah, right.
That's all right. All right, so what were we saying? Oh, I was saying Luke's rotations, dude. All right, so between Luke's rotations and LeBron James' defense, I mean, LeBron just doesn't play any defense.
No.
Well, he's played a little bit better than last year, but, I mean, man, he sure stands around a lot. Yeah. And their team is so full of young guys who want to get up and run, and LeBron just wants to walk around. Yeah. That permeates through the rest of the team. Absolutely, it does. When
everybody is looking at
LeBron, and they're feeding off his energy. Right. It's not his play. I know you'll get your stats and stuff. It's more his energy. That's the one thing about LeBron that I wish he had that was more like Kobe and Michael. Was the energy of the look in his eyes and the just tenacious, hell-raising competitor. Whereas, LeBron's a nice guy. You know what I mean? He doesn't have a lot of that. He has it a little bit. You see it every once in a while. Last year in the finals, you saw he got poked in the eye, and he looked up and had that look in his eye. We saw it in Miami where he did it a couple times, but it's man, I know that that's not his game. His game isn't based on the lethal assassin style, but it's if he had a little bit more of that, it would permeate throughout his team, and I think they play better defense because they just don't care to stop it. My grandma can get an easy layup on the Lakers, no doubt, no doubt.
Let me drop you.
They're first in the league in points in the paint, and they're 27th in the league in defensive points in the paint.
Let me drop this for you. This is my point. I think LeBron has a kind of like a aura about him. Like there's just someone everybody knows about LeBron.
He's bigger than basketball.
Right.
He's like a king.
Sports.
He literally is like a king.
Right.
Like in Europe, he's like the king of some country. When
Right.
you see him, he's like royalty.
Right.
Yeah.
So when all these young guys that are on the Lakers, like B.I., Lonzo, Kuzma, who else am I missing? Josh Hart, right?
I like Josh Hart. He's a good player.
Josh Hart's nice. But when all these guys are coming, and, these guys are what? They're probably the same age as us, 21, 22, 23, right? They all know LeBron. And
they watched him their whole childhood. Yeah.
Old LeBron in Cleveland and how he got no help.
Yeah.
Right? LeBron going to Miami.
And then everyone gets hurt, and then he's there with no help again.
They know about LeBron going to Cleveland. They're not idiots.
Yeah, they know the whole story. Yeah.
Right. So they know all about LeBron. They know why LeBron left Cleveland, right? They know why LeBron is coming to LA, right? So that day where LeBron inks on his contract, LeBron James to the Lakers, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think the Lakers were like, all right, we need to make sure LeBron stays. We're on our game constantly. We're helping.
Well, he can't go anywhere. He's got a 4-year,
right.
three and one.
But there's a whole,
reputation. We need to make sure he's
LeBron.
happy.
Yeah, around LeBron that, you know what? He flipped D-Wade, Isaiah, all these guys on the deadline just because they weren't playing well and they were losing games.
He's gotten coaches canned.
Right.
And,
So as soon as he signed that deal, the Lakers were like, you know what? We're ready. They're trying
to speed up the process.
We're ready to come run with you. We are not going to let you down. We're here for you. Look at LeBron. We're going to do whatever LeBron tells us to do. That's what we're doing. So when the Lakers see LeBron walking around, that feeds off on the rest of the young guys. They're probably
I agree.
oh, LeBron's here, but he's walking around.
It's chill energy. Yeah, it's chill. That's what I was saying about the energy. Like, dude, if you think you could walk up and down the floor on a team with Michael Jordan on it, oh my God, it would never happen, let alone Michael himself. Michael's a 10-time first-team all-defense.
Right.
You know
what
I'm
I'm saying, though, is I think these kids, we all have our own idea of what it would be like playing with LeBron.
You're right, right. Go stand in the corner and get wide open.
Right, exactly. But now it's kind of like, I think that they were thinking, you know what? Okay, we're every single possession making sure I'm busting my butt to make sure LeBron knows I'm in this for him, for the Lakers, so we can win a championship. I don't want to be that guy. But when LeBron is kind of like, oh, I'm going to walk up and down the floor.
He doesn't take every possession seriously because he knows he can pick his spots. He's like, I don't need to take every possession seriously. I can only take 40% of the possessions seriously and still end up with 28, 9, and 9. But it's not fair because his teammates can't. They're not as good as him. They can't just go, okay, I'm going to snap my fingers now and get 8 points in 40 seconds like he can.
Right.
So it's like when he puts out that energy because he can, it's not fair to the other guys because they can't. They can't just turn it on and off. They need to be. That's like the thing about the Warriors. They do the right thing. They always do the right thing. It's the culture to do the right thing. Whereas like the Lakers do the right thing half the time.
Right.
And the other half the time they're walking and don't try.
That's not my point.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
We went
totally
off
fine. Totally fine. But my point is that they're kind of like, okay, yo, we're making sure that we're busting our butt so LeBron knows, right? So when they see LeBron walking, they're like, oh, I thought we were playing every possession like it's our last for LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
But if I don't have to do that, I'm going to walk, just as much, if not more, just as much as LeBron. But just like you said, you were like, but LeBron can do that.
Yeah.
But the other guys cannot.
They can't,
Right.
Yeah.
So my point is that maybe there's a letdown from these other younger guys that were day one in practice, they were, let's get it, LeBron. Now it's kind of like, oh, we'll be good. We'll make the finals.
Or at least we'll be legit. Yeah.
Right. So maybe it's kind of like there's a letdown because of how LeBron is presenting himself during the game. Is that possible?
Hey, I agree. What's funny is I still think he brings more value to a team than anyone else.
Right.
Even with all his shortcomings, like he plays terrible defense. Like Skip Bayless loves to say that he finished 324th last year out of 350 players in defensive win shares.
Yeah.
Well, this year he's 184th.
Yeah.
So he has played a lot better on defense, but it's still like if this was like a video game, if we could somehow make LeBron play 100% on every possession, he should be like in the top 10.
I agree.
So for him to be like almost 200 in defensive win shares it's like,
Yeah.
we know that you're not playing defense. I can see. I watched the game. I can see you
Not playing defense.
I can see you walking. I can see you not in a defensive stance. I can see you pretty much just standing in the lane because you want to get the rebound and letting. I can see you switching being willing to switch everything rather than fighting over a screen because you're just like, whatever.
Yeah.
So it's like, and I get LeBron. I've watched him since he was in high school. I know this man as much as you could know him from a fan without knowing the guy personally. Like I've watched so many LeBron games. I was 10 years old in a dentist's office when I read the Sports Illustrated article with the Chosen One on it.
Yeah.
I've been watching him since high school. I'm well aware of what LeBron does and what he's doing. And what he's doing right now, this offseason, he was in China and he was in the south of France and he was in,
Right.
he wasn't even with the Lakers until like a week before the preseason started. I think right now he is in about second gear, maybe third gear. Yesterday he had 18 points, 2 rebounds, and 6 assists. That's not a LeBron James line,
Right.
and I don't think he's worried at all, it seems like. It doesn't seem
don't
like
think
he's
he is either.
because I think that he knows he's in second gear. I think he's playing his way into shape, and I think that he's going to start to ramp it up here coming soon. And I think like by the time he hit the All-Star game, he'll be in fifth gear,
Right.
and he'll be rolling.
But I agree, and I think that LeBron knows that about himself, and that's why I'm not panicking.
Yeah,
I know
but
LeBron is so
we do
great.
have to admit that that's not fair to his teammates because Josh Hart can't turn it on and off and just go, today I'm going to get 30, tomorrow I won't. Like,
I agree.
It's just he's just got to give it everything every time and see how it happens.
And that
Whereas
is my
like
point. That is my
LeBron can
point.
take plays off
Right.
because he's LeBron. He can just
Yes.
turn it on.
Yeah.
He can go, I only have 6 points and it's the second quarter with 4 minutes left. I'll finish with 20 by halftime, and he can go get 14 points
Or
in
we're
4
down
minutes.
10 with 2 minutes left. Let me take
Just
over
let
the
me
game.
just get 9 shots. Let me get the next 9 shots, and I'll get us back in the game.
Right.
He can do that. The other guys can't.
And that's what I'm saying.
Yes,
that's what
yes,
I think
yes.
the
Totally
Lakers
agree.
slow
Totally agree.
down is where LeBron is kind of like, okay, like, go crazy.
Yeah, it's like an
you know?
emotional letdown.
And-
yeah,
and
totally.
that's exactly
totally,
what I'm saying.
Totally,
Right.
totally. I totally agree.
yeah,
That's
so
such a good point.
That's what I'm saying, that, it's kind of like, okay, well, LeBron can take over for the first 2 minutes, but if LeBron's not playing the first 3 quarters, I'm not either. You know?
Yeah,
And
exactly.
that's kind of like, you can't do that. You need to be constantly going, ready to go with LeBron. You need to be ready for war every possession of every play, and then if you're doing that, you're in the game, so then when LeBron needs to turn it on, the game's over.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, so let's get into some of the technical things. So, like, dude, their defense is just,
Atrocious.
it's so bad.
Yeah.
They're like one of the best offensive teams in the league. They're
I
like in the
believe
top
that.
3 in
Yeah.
offensive efficiency. They're number 1 in points in the paint with like
Yeah.
70 something.
Yeah.
When the league record was 52 before that. They're
Right.
smashing the league record with points in the paint, and they're doing it because of fast break points. It's not like they're posting up JaVale McGee.
No.
They're just turning it into a track meet and just beating teams back on defense.
Right.
And that is all predicated, I hate to say it, with Lonzo.
Yeah.
Lonzo's the one who initiates the fast play. Rondo plays slow. So does LeBron. Like, they're like the old school, they're like the mid-2000 style players. Right. Whereas, like, if you look at the possessions per game from 2003 to now, it's so much, it's like 25 or 20 or 25 more than it was then. The game is played so much faster.
Right.
So it's like when you get Rondo slowing the pace down, I think Rondo's a much better basketball player than Lonzo, even though Lonzo's more athletic. But I do think the Lonzo should be the starter for this team. I think he's long. He's 6'7". He's their best perimeter defender. Josh Hart can play perimeter defense too. The problem is their interior defense, dude. People just roll right through the lane and they just get the easiest.
Well, look
So,
at Lowry last night. Look what he did.
Yeah, JaVale McGee is leading the league in blocks. He's got the most blocks. But I was telling you before we were on the air, it's not because Yusef Nurkic is posting him up and then puts a move on him and JaVale goes up and blocks it. No, it's because they're all help side blocks. They're all like Lowry will get by the point guard and then JaVale comes over and help side
That's
he'll
why
block
he
it.
was so valuable with the Warriors.
Because he's so he's got so much energy. So when he's playing like 30 minutes a game and He averages like 15 minutes a game for his career because he plays like that. Like, he's a high-energy guy. And so, like, when he comes out, there's also a huge letdown. They try to play, like, Kuzma at the 5. They need a backup center really, really bad, which is good that the news came out, was it yesterday or the day before, that the Suns are going to buy out Tyson Chandler, veteran center. And the Lakers, the Lakers are interested in him. Well, here's the deal. He doesn't look good in the Suns uniform. What do you think he'll look like playing with LeBron? You think they'll get a little bit of re-energy, a little spark, re-energize him a little bit? Breathe some new life into him?
Yeah, I think Chandler's a vet. I mean,
give him a new chance on a team that could be a contender. I think that brings the best out of people, you know?
I mean, he's what, like 36?
He's a champion. Yeah. He's another champion. So now that locker room will have 3 champions with Dallas. 11.
Right. Okay, yeah.
So now that locker room will have 3 champions in it.
But I think Chandler is
he's only going to play 12 to 15 minutes a game, but
right. No, but he's
a
guy
rim protector,
that'll be like, you know,
a coach out there. Yes, exactly. He's a defensive guy. He can yell at the guys and say, "Yo!"
Let's not get this twisted. JaVale is not a champion. Like, come on.
I mean, he's a 2-time champion.
No, you're right, but come on.
I know what you mean. He's not a championship level center.
Right.
Of course not.
And he's not. I don't see JaVale. I don't know JaVale. I've never talked to JaVale. I don't know if JaVale is one of those guys that's like, hey, like, we need to play championship basketball right now. I don't see him as that. No. I see Tyson Chandler as that.
Yeah, me too. And LeBron and Rondo. Right. Isn't that just a big coincidence that the 3 guys who act like that are the 3 guys who own championship rings?
Right.
Isn't that funny?
JaVale.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
My point is, though, back to my point earlier about how these Lakers are, you know, lackadaisical in the first couple of quarters. I feel like Chandler could be, hey, you know.
Yeah. Make a couple stops on the defensive end, get a couple blocks at the rim. Yeah.
And
I agree.
Chandler's he's 7 feet tall. He's a big body. He's muscular. I mean, he's going to box people out. He can rebound.
And I think
send some shots.
Yeah.
He's a good get if the Lakers can sign him.
Yeah, I think they're definitely going to try. So I think that they need to make a move.
Yeah.
I don't believe that this team right now, because I know everyone's like, oh, it's a long-term play. It's for next year. We're going to try to sign another co-star for LeBron.
Why would they do that, though?
I think they might, but I also I'm not sure that this team is going to be the team after the All-Star break. There are multiple guys you can make a play for right now. If I was in charge, see, it all comes down to, are you willing to waste this season for LeBron? Because LeBron is a championship-level guy. You put decent guys around him, he can make a run in the playoffs. So, the question is, do you want to do it this year, or do you want to wait, hold all your pieces, sign someone in free agency? Because if you don't, I think they should make a move for Bradley Beal.
See, Beal is one of those guys that you put him with LeBron, I don't think it would work.
I think it would work perfectly. I think outside of Clay, he's the best. Well, his catch-and-shoot numbers outside of Clay are the best in the league.
But I think he's another
and he can get his own
team,
shot.
Or a bad team, good stat guy.
Potentially, but see, I think John Wall's the problem, because every time John Wall goes out, and Beal is the better trade piece, because Wall, the last year of his salary in 2020, he makes $47 million, which is insane for someone who's never won anything.
Yeah, that's absurd money.
And every time he goes out, they play so much better. I know it's like a small sample size, but it's like, I just look at specifically the catch-and-shoot shooting.
Right.
There are so many. The Lakers do not shoot the 3-ball well, man. They're like in the bottom 10 in three-pointers, and they also don't defend the 3-ball well. You know what I mean? It's like, man, if you can't shoot the 3, you can't defend the 3, you can't defend in the paint. Those aren't good combinations. Right. Like, you need to negate some of those things. You need to get a 3-point shooter. You need to get more shooting. I don't know how you get it. Maybe you go to LeBron's old guy and go try to get Kyle Korver. I don't know, but they need more perimeter play.
I agree.
Specifically with Lonzo and Rondo as your point guard, like you have a non-scoring you're playing 4-on-5 on offense for the most part. You need a scoring point guard. Maybe go try to make a move for Kemba, or you need just to pump up your backcourt in a different way. And in my opinion, you could do that with Bradley Beal. He's sitting there, and I believe that the Wizards will move him.
I think the guy's Kemba.
That's another, or Dame. You try to get Dame too, because I know Dame and LeBron want to play with each other. Kemba's legit too. He said last year after they didn't make the playoffs, he was like, well, he made a public statement. He said, this is my last year not making the playoffs. Yeah. So whether that means I got to put in 18 hours of work a day in the offseason, or whether that means I got to demand a trade, this will be my last season not making the playoffs. That's what Kemba said last year. So
Well, see,
Yeah,
the
there are
thing about
guys
that,
out
though,
there.
Is like the Hornets.
But then at that level, then you would have to give up a package based on your young pieces that they'd like to keep. Like, who are you going to trade? If you did want to get Beal, Dame, or Kemba, let's say you are in charge. Let's say you're Magic and Rob Pelinka, and you said, all right, we can get Beal, we can get Kemba, we can get Dame. All we got to do is send out maybe 2 of our young dudes and a couple picks. Like,
Ingram.
Are you willing to? Yeah, I think so too, because I don't think that I think Kuzma and Hart are a better fit with a LeBron James team. Yeah. Even though I think Ingram is a better overall player than Kyle Kuzma, I think that Ingram doesn't fit with LeBron because he's a point forward. He's basically like a lesser version of LeBron. They're doing the exact same thing. He wants the ball in his hand.
Lonzo, then?
I don't know. I definitely would move Ingram, and I definitely would keep Kuzma and Hart. I don't know how I feel about Lonzo yet. It depends who I'm getting back. Am I getting a point guard back? If I can get Dame or Kemba, yeah, I'll move Lonzo. But I want to keep Hart and Kuzma, which is funny because they're the 4-year guys. You know what? The 4-year, just out of the 4 Lakers young core, I know it's a small sample size, but they have Ingram, Kuzma, Hart, and Ball. 2 of them played 4 years. 2 of them played, 1 year? Did Lonzo play 1 year?
Lonzo played 1. Ingram played 1. Kuzma, I think, played 1.
Oh, he did? I thought he played all 4. Isn't Kuzma a 4-year guy?
I know Hart
is.
Was.
Yeah, because he was a 3rd-team All-American his junior year, 1st-team All-American his senior year. He won the NCAA title with Villanova.
Yeah, I agree, though. I think
the point is the guys who came right out of school early, regardless of Kuzma, my point remains. Ball and Ingram seem to have possibly a brighter upside, but it's going to take longer to get there.
Okay, you're right.
Whereas
he played 3 years.
Kuzma did.
Yeah.
Right. See, my point remains. Yeah. So Ball and Ingram came out of school. They have a higher upside to their game, but they're going to take a longer time to get there. Whereas if Kuzma and Hart stopped evolving right now, they're already nice players. You know what I mean? Like Kuzma was he led the team in scoring yesterday. He had more points than LeBron. He got more shots up than LeBron. I'll tell you what. This is another interesting thing. LeBron's basically whole career, at least recent career, guys have just deferred to him.
Right.
Derrick Rose, just every time he got the ball, he just gave it to LeBron and went and stood in the corner. Like, that's not Derrick Rose's game. It just rendered him obsolete and irrelevant. And it's not LeBron's fault that these guys are seeing him and they're looking at him with huge eyes and going, okay, sir, here, you have the ball. Right. They always give him the ball and they wait for him to do something. I'll tell you what, Kuzma, Rondo, Hart, Ingram, none of them do that. None of them are scared to shoot it. The only one who will defer to LeBron, who will always give the ball to LeBron when LeBron looks at him, is Lonzo Ball. Yeah. He's the only one. The rest of them, there's been times when LeBron puts his hands up the shooting motion, hey, right here, I'm wide open. Kuzma will look at him, see him open, turn back and take the shot anyway. Because these kids are gunners, man. They're I'm not going to let LeBron come in here and mess up my averages. Right. I averaged 17 a game last year. If you think I'm going to average 9 a game this year because LeBron's here, wrong. Kyle Kuzma might lead the team in shots this year. Yeah. Literally, I'm not kidding. He is a gunner. He's not afraid to shoot it. The only one who isn't like that out of that whole team is Lonzo. Yeah. He's the one who will defer to LeBron. He'll give the ball to LeBron always. Game. Yeah, for sure. But it's man, he's so unaggressive. Yeah. There'll be times when he's the roll man in the pick and roll. LeBron hits him with a bounce pass, and instead of attacking the hoop, he'll kick it back out to someone else. When he had a wide open layup, it's he doesn't want to attack the hoop. He doesn't ever want to get fouled, ever. Lonzo never wants to he stays away from contact. He's scared of contact. Yeah, I don't know what you do with Lonzo. You definitely have to make some move. If it was up to me, I would keep Hart and Kuzma for sure. Even though I think Ingram's a better player, I think he's the more valuable trade piece.
What?
I think that, and I also think the Lakers know that because the other night Kuzma had 20 and Ingram had 8. And both the Los Angeles Lakers social media and LeBron James on social media blasted out the one highlight play he had. And LeBron's, look at my young king, and you know how he talks. Yeah. And the Lakers were talking about this amazing play by Brandon Ingram. They didn't mention he only had 8 points and he played terribly. And it sort of brings me back to Max Kellerman's point from a couple weeks ago. That's what you do when you want to trade a guy. You boost hit. You talk. Magic Johnson rants and raves about how great Ingram is, and he's the next guy up. And LeBron says Ingram's got the juice, and all of that, in my opinion, is just boosting his trade value because they're trying to trade him. It's like the idea that you detail a car before you sell it. You know what I mean? You want to make that sucker look as good and pretty and shiny as possible right before you sell it. I think that's what they're doing with Ingram. I don't know. Regardless, they need to make a move. I don't know who it is. Well, I mean, they don't need to. They can wait, but then you're going to waste this season for LeBron.
Well, think about this. So we're Bulls fans.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
From Chicago. What if the Lakers threw you Ingram for Markkanen?
I'll take that deal. Even though, well, it doesn't help their defense. Their defense sucks. It would help their shooting, but their biggest problem, they're almost first in the league in offense. Their biggest problem is they can't defend my grandma.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I'm saying just, hypothetically.
On paper, I mean, maybe. Well, he's just more of an I think Ingram plays better defense. I might keep Ingram in that.
Really?
Yeah, I think I would keep Ingram. But that's not the worst deal I can think of.
Right.
You know?
But that's crazy, you know? Like, if I'm the Bulls, I'm never trading Markkanen.
Yeah, me neither. He's their cornerstone piece.
Right.
But yeah, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with all those points. I think that you're right. The Lakers need to, and that's what's awesome about Kuzma is because guys like Love would look at LeBron like,
should I shoot? Can I
like,
shoot this, sir?
Yeah.
Is it okay if I
And
shoot this, master?
Look at how look at his numbers decline.
Drop. Yeah, same with Bosch.
Right.
Same with, whereas like Kuzma, he's another one of those guys who's like Mirotic, who has never even seen a shot that he didn't love. Yeah, right. No, he will shoot it. So, in fact, I'll say this. There's like a logjam at small forward for the Lakers. There's too many guys that do the same thing. Even guys who are technically twos, like Lance Stevenson, he's out there playing three. They have him in the three at the lineup. There's like 5 threes on that team. I think that the difference between Kuzma and Ingram's got his head up. He's looking around to make plays. Kuzma's got his head down because he's going to that hoop no matter what. He knows in his head, I'm getting to that hole or I'm shooting this rock. Right. He's not looking for anyone to pass it. He is one of those dudes who's just head down, shoot, get to the hole. Like he knows nothing. There's times where like LeBron will be like, ball. And he sees that Kuzma looks him off, so he knows he's not. So LeBron will just run into the hoop because he's like, oh, this dude's going to shoot this. I might as well go get this rebound. Because he knows that no one's getting that ball. Sometimes when Kuzma touches it, no one else is seeing that ball.
No, I agree.
And I think that even though that's not as good of an overall basketball trait, it may be better for a LeBron James team.
Right, and I agree with that. I think that's what makes Kuzma so special in a roster with LeBron.
Yeah, I think like to use Brandon Ingram in his optimal way, the best way you could use him, you'd have to use him like they use LeBron, as like a point forward.
Yeah.
You know, and you can't really do that when LeBron is your point forward. It's like Ingram's sort of being wasted, in my opinion, right now.
Yeah, I agree. But it's a very interesting concept with the Lakers because it's kind of like it's LeBron and you have to figure out who all is going to fit with him, obviously, but who is actually going to stick with their own game and who is going to. That's why I think Kemba will be great. I mean, look at what he's doing.
Same with
Hornets.
Dame because they will not be scared to shoot it and look for LeBron.
But I think that Kemba more just because it's kind of like Kemba has nothing else. You know, I mean, he is. I mean, you're throwing Malik Monk and Jeremy Lamb and Michael Kidd-Gilchrist out there, and Kemba doesn't care. He'll take it 30 times a game, 40 times a game. He's pulling everything. Yeah. He said, we win,
That's the type of player that, like, a LeBron needs. Right. Because, like, over the years and years ago, the idea was that LeBron makes all his teammates better all the time.
Right.
Whereas nowadays, I think it's more so that
I don't believe that
he's sacrificing that part of his game for the idea that, oh, I'll make you better in your record at the end of the year. Yeah. I don't think it's about I'll make you individually better as a player. Right. I don't think – well, I do think it's better as a player, but statistically. I don't think he's going to boost everyone's statistics. I do think he's like, listen, I'm going to show you guys how to win.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like a different thing. I think that – I hate to say it, but I wonder if this is the year where we just go, oh, he's taking a noticeable step back. This is not – I wonder. I'm not predicting that. I think he's going to ramp it up. I think he's in second gear. He'll ramp it up. And in 2 or 3 months, we'll be like, LeBron is so good at basketball.
Yeah, right.
Just like every year we do that.
Like, oh, my gosh. Nobody can stop him. Why are they even playing?
But, man, right now, he just does not look like himself. He doesn't look good.
He doesn't look like he wants to be there.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I don't think that's going to be the case, though.
No, it won't last. It won't last.
There's so much legacy here in LA that
I wonder if they're going to make a move. Or it really has come down to what would you rather have? What would you rather have 2, 3 years from now if we're just able to fast forward? Would you rather have hold on, listen. Would you rather have Kuzma, Ball, LeBron, Kawhi, and another star? Or would you rather have, why did I say, Kuzma, Ball, but you lost Ingram and Hart, or just pick two. Basically, the idea is, would you rather have two of the young dudes and 2 stars, or all 4 of the young dudes and 1 star? Because if you trade 2 of your dudes away for 1 star now, you could still possibly get another free agent. And then you'd have, so like say they made a move for Kawhi. I know this isn't going to happen. This is just to explain my point. Say they sent out Ingram and Ball for Kawhi and a couple first rounders for Kawhi. So now they have Kawhi, LeBron, and the 2 young dudes, Hart and Kuzma. And then they could sign Anthony Davis in the offseason. Now you have 3 stars, Kawhi, LeBron, and Anthony Davis, plus Kuzma and Hart. That's if you wanted to trade away these young dudes now and make a play for a superstar now. Or you say, no, we like these young dudes. We want to develop them and roll with them. Then that means a couple years from now, you will have all 4 of those young dudes, LeBron, and 1 other star that you will able to add in this offseason.
Right.
So it comes down to, would you rather have 3 stars and 2 of your young dudes, or 2 stars and all 4 of your young dudes a couple years from now? That's what it comes down to. It comes down to, what do you want in a couple years? Do you want 3 stars and 2 of those kids, or 2 stars and all 4 of those kids?
Yeah.
You know?
I agree, but, gosh, what was I gonna say? Oh,
sorry, I just ranted.
No, you're fine. But I just think that LeBron is. Why would they waste a year on LeBron? You know,
especially it was season 16. You got to be thinking like the end is near, man.
Why would you waste?
If we got this guy who can just drag crappy teams all the way to the title, why don't we try to put a decent team around him while we got him and try to make something?
I really don't think LeBron or Magic would waste a year with LeBron, especially only on a 4-year deal.
Yeah, it's hard for me to believe too. It's actually a 3-1. He could leave after 3. He's got an option.
But like, I just don't think Magic would do that. Like, I just think that he would be like, okay, I would say a move is inevitable. That's how I would put it.
So you're expecting for them to try to make a play for a star,
There's a move coming.
And then sign another superstar in the offseason.
Yeah, and honestly, take Ingram and take Ball. I don't want any of them.
Yeah, I actually sort of agree.
Hart and Kuzma.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Even though the other 2 might be better basketball players, those 2 play better with LeBron.
And that's all that matters.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
I agree with you. You and I are on the same page there.
Right. I agree, but I think that I know a move's coming. That's kind of where I'm at. I know a move is going to be.
It's inevitable, huh?
Yeah.
This season before the trade deadline.
Yeah, I think there's no doubt in my mind.
And then that would increase the odds that they could sign a superstar in the offseason if you already had 2 in place.
But I think that there's going to be a certain point in the season where Magic is going to have to make a decision, or it's going to be, okay, we're all in at getting a superstar now at the deadline, or can we get KD?
They should trade KCP.
Oh,
because that's a good piece. Well, he's got a terrible contract,
yeah.
but he's a good piece who isn't playing well. Who other teams are probably like, oh, he's not playing well in LA. We could get something out of him, whereas they can't in that system and in the style.
No, but what I'm saying though is, like, I think Magic is going to be, okay, we're either getting KD, like we're going to do as much as we can, and if we don't think we can get Kevin Durant, then we need to make a move now. Because
for AD, Kemba, Dame, Kawhi.
Because I think, like you said, they have to the exact penny the amount they need for Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
But I think Magic is going to have to make a move. He's going to have to realize, can we get KD? Because throwing this year away to get Kevin Durant and LeBron James is worth it.
Yeah, I agree. Because you're talking about 3 titles after it.
Yeah. It's worth it. But if you're kind of like, okay, well, I don't know if we're going to get KD. What if he goes to New York or he stays in Oakland with the Warriors, or, you know, then you waste
goes
a
home
season.
to Washington or something.
Right, and now you waste a season for nothing.
Yeah.
So Magic's going to have to make a decision here that's kind of like,
he's just going to have to gamble.
Yeah,
it's just a gamble.
This is a straight toss-up.
Yeah.
You know, 50-50
just
down the middle.
Throw this up in the wind and hope something works.
Because every year with LeBron is valuable.
Yeah, and every year it gets less and less valuable because he's getting older and older. It's like you need to. The first 2 years of his contract are more important than the last 2 because he's still closer to his prime.
Right,
yeah.
Exactly.
He still has more of his powers.
Right. So if Magic goes out and is like, you know what? All right, we're gonna go get AD. We'll try our best for Kevin Durant, but we're probably not gonna have enough, and we're gonna probably have to move another piece. You know, that's gonna be a lot harder to do rather than just throw the season away and, okay, we have Kevin Durant now, you know. But at the same time, if you throw the season away, don't get a superstar, and go after Kevin Durant, and he says no.
Well, wait. What do you mean throw the season away? Isn't throwing the season away trading guys now to get it? Oh no, you mean not doing that? Okay,
Yes.
okay.
So if you don't go out and get a player, right?
Yeah.
You don't go out
so
and
you
get a
have
player
just
and
keep
then
your
you're
4
like,
kids.
Yeah, I'm all in for Kevin Durant, right? And then you take on.
Well, there's a lot of guys who are free agents this offseason. It's
Right.
not just
No,
KD,
no.
but yeah, obviously that's the big fish.
Yeah, I mean, if you get Kevin Durant and LeBron, they're a lock for the title every year.
At least they're a lock for the Western Conference Finals and being in the finals.
I'm, like literally in the finals every year.
Yeah, for sure.
So, but I'm saying if Magic doesn't make a move and he sticks with this roster till the end and doesn't get Kevin Durant, then you wasted a whole year of LeBron. The value either goes down further than for some of these
He's
guys.
a whole year older.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So I think that we need to.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's my birthday. I just got cupcakes delivered. Look at this.
Oh my God.
All right, hold on. Let's take a little break.
Thank
All
you for
right.
listening to 88.1 WLRA, The Start,
Yeah.
Bruce University.
We'll be right
Rockville,
back.
Illinois.
Step back. All right, later. All right, we're back.
Yeah,
Sorry,
welcome
guys.
back. No. Happy birthday, by
Yeah,
the way,
thanks,
Kyle,
man. Appreciate it.
Good,
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
We just had homemade cupcakes
Yeah,
hand
brought
delivered
to
me.
us in the studio.
Yeah, they have
So-
basketball logos all
Yeah,
over
right.
them.
Say Kyle on it and
Yeah,
everything.
pretty
so.
cool.
But
Sweet.
but yeah, back to my point. Pretty much, I was saying that Magic either has to make a decision at some point in the season to either go in on Kevin Durant or. But here's my question to you:
Okay.
if they don't make a move and they go in on Kevin Durant, can they get him?
I don't know. I go back and forth on it because it's like part of me thinks of it like the Kevin Durant is just a sports fan too, right? There's part of him that's just a regular guy.
Right.
Part of him is this NBA superstar, and the other part of him is just a sports fan like you and I. And he hears everything about how he's soft and cupcake. Like I just got the cupcakes delivered. People call him Cupcake, and because he, and so I think that the last thing that would help him overcome that reputation would be going and joining LeBron.
We'll see.
Like my idea is, why would he go and join LeBron? If he wins a ring this year, he would have what, 3?
Yeah.
And then he'd go and join LeBron, the one guy who people say is better than him in his era, and then stay where if they won one, they would always be together. They would have 4 if they won one, then they would each have 5, then they would each have 6. Whereas I think Durant probably wants more rings than LeBron. Maybe if he got to 4 where LeBron was 3, then he might go help him because then every time they win one together, he always stays one ahead. But if he goes next season, if he wins this season and goes next season, they would always be tied. And I think that you heard LeBron's MVP speech, Durant's MVP speech. It was all about I'm sick of being second. I was second in the draft. I'm second to LeBron now. I'm sick of being second. I want to be number 1. That was his whole speech outside of his speech to his mom. You're the real MVP. That was the main basketball points he made.
See.
So I go back and forth because I also know that they're also really good friends. That Durant also understands LeBron's game and his game and how they would fit like a freaking glove.
Right.
So I go back and forth on it because I could see Durant being like, never, I'm going to bury that dude until my career's over. And then I could also see him going and playing with him. So I'm like 50-50.
Well, that's kind of how
Which is more than I was before. I used to say not a chance, whereas now I'm giving it a little bit of a chance.
Well, see, I agree with you, but I think you made a really good point about how his attitude is and how how he has this whole cupcake, you're a snake, all this stuff.
And he tweets back at people from burner accounts and stuff like that.
At the same time, I don't think he cares. I really don't think he cares. I do. I really don't think he cares. Or else he wouldn't have re-signed with the Warriors. Or else he would have left. He wouldn't have taken the player option. He would have left. I don't think he cares. I think he loves going into OKC.
I think he's just okay with dealing with this for a couple years so he knows he can have some rings when he retires. That's what I think. Because I think he knows that everyone...
So you don't think he'll stay in Oakland?
No. But no, definitely not. But I think that he knew that Kevin Durant knows how good Charles Barkley was.
Yeah.
And yet he knows where he sits in the pantheon of all-time greats because he never got a ring.
Right.
So I think Kevin Durant, even though I think that he hates this cupcake, soft snake, all this stuff, but I think he's just grinding through it to get those rings. That's what I think. I think he hates this stuff.
I really don't think
Did you ever see that one when that high school kid put the picture of his private DMs with Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant was in his inbox, and they had like a half-hour conversation where this kid's talking crap to Durant, and Durant is defending himself against like a 13-year-old high school kid in New Hampshire somewhere on Twitter in the DMs. It's
crazy.
like, why are you wasting your time trying to justify your moves and defend yourself to some 13-year-old in wherever the hell, you know?
Yeah.
It's like that is... Psychologically, that is the epitome of caring about something. If you didn't care about it, you would just look at it or not look at it. Most celebrities don't even read their mentions. So, like, you can't do that because you'll see all the good ones where your fans are tweeting at you, I love you so much, Kev, I love you so much, and then you won't think twice about it, but then you see one bad one and you want to go, what, you MF? You'll want to tweet back at the one bad one, but you didn't want to tweet back at the 100 good ones that you read. So, like, a lot of celebrities don't even read their mentions because they know it's toxic. Durant reads them all. He reads all of it, and he responds to the negative one, even if it's like a 12-year-old kid. That just seems... something's up there, man. He is insecure with his decision. That's what I think. I mean, now we're getting into, like, psychologically assessing people, which isn't fair. But, you know, it just seems like he cares to me.
I always got the impression that I thought he didn't care. See, I think he loves going into OKC. I think he loves hearing the cupcake T-shirt.
Yeah, I think he does too.
I think he loves the Westbrook beef and knowing Westbrook's so mad.
So do I. Yeah, I think he does too. Yeah.
And his canter, you know, when he was in OKC, he was like, "Why did you leave?" and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And Steven Adams.
I think he likes that part of it. I think he
agree.
doesn't like the fans and the media.
But I also think he loves playing with Curry and Thompson and how free their offense is and how that works. So that kind of leads me to why he might want to go play with LeBron. Like, he did it once. Why won't he do it twice? You know, why wouldn't he
make some lame decision to?
But it doesn't matter because it's his decision.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying make a decision that we think is lame. That, I mean, he's showed that he's willing to do that once. I'm agreeing with you.
At the same time, it doesn't alter basketball history at all, in my opinion.
Well, no player should be held. Nothing should be held against players for going somewhere in free agency. It's their right.
Right.
Go wherever they want.
People will say...
But you could still say it's lame as a fan to go somewhere in free agency who was 73-9 and won a title without you when you're the second best player on
But that doesn't
earth.
affect his legacy
It doesn't... well, it does to me.
I don't think so.
Well, to me it does. To you it doesn't, but to me it absolutely does. I look at him differently.
Well, where he's going to fall all time...
Of course not. Of course.
Right.
Yeah, no,
okay,
it doesn't change
that's
that.
what I'm talking
But that sort of goes back to my initial argument of people who use the 3 and 6 thing against LeBron. Because that's not how I judge players. I judge players by what I'm looking at and what I see and what the numbers show. Like the teams, like how many rings do you have? It's like, dude, you know how many things go into that? Where you're drafted, who your coach is, the system they employ, your teammates, the competition of the league, the East and West balance of the league. A lot of things go into your finals record or how many rings you retire with. I know that the average fan thinks that that's all that matters, but I think the real basketball people, it's almost not irrelevant. It's not irrelevant. It's not irrelevant, but it's almost irrelevant.
That's what makes LeBron's legacy so amazing is like how people don't understand.
He's 3 and 6 because he took 6 teams or maybe 5 teams that didn't deserve to be even in the playoffs without him.
Listen,
and he dragged them all. They should have lost in the first round, and he dragged them all the way to the finals. Right. So, like, of course you're gonna have 6 finals losses because you had a terrible team that shouldn't have been there. You only were there because of LeBron's greatness.
I think that NBA fans don't realize how difficult it is to get to an NBA Finals. Like how hard it is to win like 3 series and then go to an NBA Finals. How difficult.
I don't think people realize how difficult it is to win 2 games in a row in the playoffs.
Right.
Because that team's going to go watch game film and game plan to not let you do what you just did 2 nights earlier. They're so fresh in their brain of what we have to stop this team from doing. So the fact that that's why it's amazing when teams go back-to-back for a title or 3-peat, because it's like the other team is – it's like your point about Trae Young doing all that against triple teams and stuff. Yeah. It's like, dude, they are game planning for exactly what you just showed them that you're good at 2 nights earlier. So if you can do that again, even just to win back-to-back games in the playoff is incredible, let alone win multiple series, let alone win multiple series when you shouldn't be there, because outside of LeBron, your team is not qualified to be there. Right now, the Cavs. Look at the Cavs right now. They're terrible. They're the worst team in the league.
Right.
They only lost LeBron. He put LeBron back on the Cavs team. They go right back to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But see, the thing is, though, is that's what makes LeBron's legacy so great is people don't realize how hard it is to make to an NBA Finals.
Yes. Let alone
and he's
8.
gone to 8 straight.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So that's my point. And it's kind of like, I just, oh, my gosh. LeBron haters are, like, kind of the worst people on earth.
Yeah, they annoy me too.
Yeah, they're awful.
Well, it's because it's so much more it's more personal than it is basketball. They don't like him. They don't like how he whines to the refs and gets his coaches fired and decides when he gets to take himself out. That's what they don't like. But they're letting their emotions cloud their judgment. You know what I mean?
I agree. Yeah.
They just don't like his attitude, and he cries to the refs, and he gets coaches fired, and he is passive aggressive to his teammates.
And leaving for Miami and all that stuff.
Listen,
but Kevin Durant doesn't get that.
But none of it is about his game. You can't argue about the merits of his game with a real basketball person. Because even if you hate LeBron and you hate him more than anything on earth, for you to pretend that he's at worst top 3 to ever play this game in history, you're insane. Yeah. You're insane. Even Skip Bayless has him up there. And Skip Bayless has made millions of dollars. He's made his entire career on hating this guy. Yeah. The conversation is between Michael Jordan, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and LeBron James. Yeah. That's the conversation. Anyone else is outside of it as far as I'm concerned. Until I'm proven. I'm sure that will change. I'm sure someone will come along. Yes, exactly. Someone will come along. But as of right now in 2018, that's the conversation as far as I'm concerned.
I agree.
And anyone who tries to take LeBron out of it, Michael out of it, or Kareem out of it is either ignorant of basketball or they just dislike them for other reasons than their game, in my opinion.
I agree. Yeah.
What do you think? Was this a good one?
This was a good episode. Good couple episodes.
Yeah, cool. Even though we recorded most of it and then
that's fine.
Didn't record most of it.
No.
God, so stupid.
Thank you guys for listening.
Thanks for listening.
88.1 WLRA The Start Stepback Podcast on
Stepback
YouTube.
Pod on Twitter. Stepback Podcast on Instagram. Kyle Coleman 15 on Twitter. What's your social media?
Yeah, at Pat Cibulka, at the real Pat Cibulka on Twitter. Just hit me with a follow, and we'll be back next Monday.
Yep, next Monday. All right, cool. Anything else?
No, that's it.
All right, sounds good. Thanks for listening, guys. Have a good week, and enjoy the hoops. All right, we're out.